لو صدفة يلي أنا قلبي بيتقطع ولو صدفة يلي الناس قالوا لي أقنع قريت ما بقنع شفت ما بشبع لو صدفة يلي أنا قلبي بيتقطع لو صدفة يلي أنا قلبي بيتقطع أنا عارف وما عارف أنا كل يوم خايف لساني ما يوالف ولو مرة بيطايف لو أشرق شمسين تلقاني ما شايف لو أشرق شمسين تلقاني ما شايف الناس قالوا لي أنا
quyết chặt kiek be mod quyết quay về quyết đái bên quyết giếng na quyết đái bên của giờ nói giếng nó phát đạn quyết chặt kiek mod từ quyết chặt kiek lấy của giá làm giảm cái này anh mà chắc chắc và yên cuộc chiếc gầu cho yêu cuộc kén đây là live của inshallah yom asabit cuộc là live all the time chứ mình nghĩ về cái nữa yom asabit chúc cái lui miss cả na để cái chiếu cái lui miss cái cuộc bên lead live và cái yên lo bác lối bác có coi như share the video in London in the lối baking from each and every one of you và quyết coi qua là quyết đái với the topic cả trong các thằng thảo phim trên wo giang phát đảng wo có buộc giảm concerning the security the work cái lối rồi mà quý wo buộc giảm mà quý cái thứ nó quý buộc cái bè lối update ngay đang what going on now các quan này cái lối rồi mà nó pin này yên chẳng có nằm ở Geneva Sudan phải anh là cái này anh jam cái này anh mà chắc đây mà nghĩ weekend có ja brother Billy Luke is coming on the way and then brother Wilson and Abiel and Koich and Wokoich media ben big ben lúc thế qua bác ben lui bác ben thì nghe đang là cái này anh chỉ là chuyện mà cái anh lui and host non for now là bị quay quan cái ben cái yên nó cái nên cả bà lẽ là cái bác video quan cái bác lui share they ma work in ko birana bandai ko bi we yenen media da fadang so loy ko work here ko work ben wo bi jam ko iran e dang na ko link ka ba loy share la te ba ta ni alten you mu loy join you can join us okay so you want to join us later on you can come in later on if we share the link and you be able to join us, you can join us or you can watch us, but just make sure you share our video, you share everything for work giờ coi tên cả theo din đi cái yên share up video cái cái này thế này Iran chưa phải có buổi Malaysia là cái Iran phải có buổi inshallah và lôi phải không có và với chắc cái này giờ đấy giang nào phát đang bây giờ nói giang bên we need to talk yeah. Ai đang yên ka ba Martin when yên topic yên ko de kadang tarfin te na de consent kuna de ko bati ba topic ne ko wo be jam yên barudo na de ko ba dietin common to get in lete ko de ko ba dietin common one ran ke queen kadang tate ko we can take that common too và wo yên phát đang wo consent already security dan security yen buog lo ya de do fa anda na pada ko ja yen ang fana le na ko buog jam biak de yen ko lo ni chi wat kon ka kon jam wan thing so you guys hang on I think we will get start just a little bit Thank you very much for sharing video also. My name is Matektek and Bill Luke is coming on the way. Thank you very much.
لو صدفة يلي أنا قلبي متقطع
I with young man with die. I hope and kid got we got Johnson Woolen. I think they watching us. I think yesterday they watching and today I think he will watch this video also. Garwidwal is watching today also with us. So pay attention to here. And then go young Padang. We will speak in English and Arabic also. So Garwidwal will understand what we're talking in Dinka. Okay. Thank you.
أنا قلبي بيتقطع لو صدفة يلي أنا قلبي بيتقطع
Okay. Yeah. I will limit this video with quite well. Hold on 1 second. Let me uh, do something here before I start it. Before I go on here to invite you guys, I want to say something first before I invited each and every one of you guys, because I know we will be interested to talk about this one today. Okay. Uh, oh, okay. All right. Hold on 1 second. Let me come to the. I'm coming to give you guys the link. Okay. I'm gonna share the link, so whoever need the link, you will be able to join us right now. For no later than uh. Let me see. Okay. This and this. Okay, let me see who this need the link. You guys, we quite one. We die. You guys who are watching there, I'm gonna put the link there. When you go to Jung Padang Media, there you're gonna see the link somewhere there. Uh, so you will be able to join us. So link acha tuwa ni alten. So you will see it there, and then you will be okay there. Uh, But I want to say thank you for those who watching there. Gabriel, Man Weston, and Kur, Abiel, Matiangwan, Ding, Kur, Abiel again, and so on. We'll check it later. We'll dive in. But thank you very much for coming, and thank you for everybody. Yan an jam kena yan ma tek tek. They my channel will unte. Work Padang Media. Work a jam kena concerning le Padang by himself chiran ben pa iran in dai ben apiat ba concerning kana ba team ko what we concern about lan kana e ka bi jeng chu ben che jeng tok che padang tok so security threat le apadang apa nile we kai ko yen apadang ben even ruang to lan ben tiêu wa to ka tia ka ruang security threat yen jamo ko biag da fanail ko loirut kam de ka Johnson wuloin ko garwi dwal ko ja rani chol riek machar pa garwi dwal alui regime change ko chi piat ke ka kuma lakin alui le ke ayu enagi weg ngi wuloin tawan wuloin ran lui le ko padang len padang na chi game yen ka beto ro for long time. So yen abok ke ran chit gar wich dwal tok ke cha tok tili ke la ben lekin ke bi wo kon jam first ken security governor wana yen chi riek ma charen kwan wana ye governor ye deputy de rani chol wulen deputy da go le kwa chak ping te nun te no ka pian ki lula piet ki rot kwa che nuer ban nuer won chiro lula chi riek ma char pal yena piet ke yena piat ene nwe won chi rieng ma cha pa le na piat ke rieng won ke jeng de rani chol gar win dol pa we jeng na ne we to ben ak we man le kana la be jeng na pa dang la bi loy affect a ready yetok lakini chi jeng a pa dang lo affect de to ka bi ra de ben wi bang ben a charan so you guys need to careful you guys need to talk about it now man a chak pal ke kana pa dang yene mikala kwa pa dang ina de no problem len lakin kana ulo nyaku aku ra ready ulo nda dai cha ga a long time kana chuk ti lam man za to wo kidak so a good way bi be ben ke gar we dwal lakin a jog roti kuma da gar we dwal ka bo be riek ma char bi ben gir dai ma ngi wo ke ne will change riek ma char automatically will change riek ma char whatever they thinking there gar we dwal ba ka ge riek ma char so in kirana ge without people you cannot change somebody without ally so gar we dwal la ngi ally ka yena yinga kai win brieng ma char jo ben mok pin ka chi veri ra re de la rieng ma char ngi ke we gieng na we dai ba a vice president but Sudan. It's not a vice president of the IO, it's a vice president of Sudan. So now a vice president of Sudan, Riek Machar. And then what about Garwidwal? Garwidwal is gonna come here as a vice president of South Sudan too. Okay. Now you guys need one guy to move out, whether by political or by whatever negotiation. So Garwidwal Lena Ben Keran ko bi Riek Machar gir chứ mà nói ở đây là chỉ quốc jam garui dua le dai we wo ko padang wo dai ten wo media loy ten garui dua la dai up to today we ne media da no ku loy kan ko finally damandang pe cái ran bo cái tong be loy we padang mà na we ki le tong la bo ten cái no ra tok lakin cái ne cái le homework do yi ni ran lo batin kwe den ko cái big den pandu tok wala chi ko den pandu tok na le den pandu yi tok ba loy di so yin ko baro loy pak bay nam loy up to gable kenen be lana te ran de lo chi jo an wera to gen piet alat nyang ja piet ne no lakin yin da to ba gimbro te big ban ko ko ke de nya pan yin to chi ko be ban ko so yen ken ina ko biro te ja dan ke ye jeng lo yin de le no la ban ko pat big de nya ka bar fa anda wo to lana ye ni na padang yin to ku to ko ban yin to kwer bin tew to ku yin to kwer na tar to ten ku yin to kwer kwer mai wut ko ten ku yin to kwer joko ku yin to kwer no wa chen te liu in tin nin padang so na lagar wi bal ben ko da biak tu ten bi ben de no bi de nya fa na lo bi de no ka to lok pi magenas ka de ka la wut okay gar wi bal na ka de yen peaceful change yen loy wo wo Junuba Sudan ko ye chik da ka tong taban ran pa ne da ka tong we always tired with this fighting. So Garwidwell if it is coming with a peaceful change, and then everybody like peace. Okay, even you fight with somebody, you like to have a peace. So if it is a peaceful change, that will be okay. Lakin not a peaceful change could be devastation be low in the country. Ka chi robe lew badin la no chi robe lew en kan yan bu koy dog to the war. Okay, và cái we gieng fa dang ko we gieng ban kana e work bira ne nu ngi ku bira ne we ko ju je chi lui join dan chin malung ata to fi Nairobi wala to somewhere ten ko chin we cho là Stephen Boy chi ga join a couple of days ago ko nyo ka dai về doctor ai doc ten ten den yi gar we dual ke Johnson Wulan jadi so ke ko biro lo yen ayo di do ne yen to everywhere abe ben gir ya kadi we ga fanal we ke mi ya governor ayo already ko yen ne the rani chol Johnson Wulan enen governor one yen to kan ko Johnson Wulan ya bo again riek machar ku riek machar ene ye ran lui ran kana appointed one yen rani chol governor with afanal ye riek machar lui and appointed. So to you, if you ask yourself, now the governor is Riek Machar is appointed him, the governor in Afana now as a part of the IO. Now the Garwidwell and Johnson Wuloy they coming with a different IO. So how do you compare now the governor that we have it now? How he will stay there in that position? So it's not gonna stay there. He's gonna move out. You know, anytime it will move out. So you're not gonna stay there, Lano. Your regime with Riek Machar will change out, all of you, both of you. So nga bigger we will went out governor. Iran Nasser, them in a Nasser, Garwid will come and appointed somebody from Nasser. But the problem is here, we young and we dive and wake Garwid will be Louis success. Can be I o gear be Riek Machar by big go tell randang. Do you think that Gargawigal will success to do this one? If yes, is your homework or is it your opinion? We padang we ku kati kaban yan na bede koy kwon ben la te koy we ben ti we padang a ku we yen ken ken lui pu bi lui pu la no bi ba jo re le chai no jo ro ma to kai jo pya ta le no jo yu yum rai de lo ja dai la kin yin nin jeng da no padang ken yina bi ko ben de nyaka ko la no gok gok to bi ke ko ku yin ke ro mi ya tol ma de ko ndu japin da to yi ge na bi ben ko ko bi ndu japin pa yin ken yin wo gru ti ko wo jing fa dang ben will bile yin cha mo to re thank you very much for coming pa yin ken yin wo we ti ko we pa dang il yin wo wo ken we ki gar we dwal bi lui success bi riek ma char de ka jwe men ke yin wo da wo pa dang malakal ay kirya pin marwa daga chen malakal to a chubu ra kirya pin a chen burto up to now jabel we build from the beginning en alo en ye riek ma chara pier ka kuma kwa pier ke gut kwa pier ke team kwa pier ke lai wan chen malakal loy damaro no malakal man kwa re ki team cho ko iran be gut be yik up to now iran de na we can jen ke be yik lakini chi destroy already ai cheran dang pe wo de ni problem beta garwi karang Johnson will alwe la ko len mala ka len ko ka kana le ben ke wulen ke yen aba ben ko bi ben te wulen ta bere juba ko dil ben la mala ka la len de yen lo mai na bi be lo te len la ben pa yen a chi pa da ngen ti da re de je da man di de ben nen Johnson wulen kwa chi ba pa yen na ra ne ready at this time ke yen a chi pa da ngen le Johnson yen a chi pa da ngen le yin yenin Johnson wulen yin chi gao la no waiting for you long time min chi dai ben ke man yenen Johnson ulo nya jadil ben ke be blend jo ben gi ke chak ke gar wi dole to pa yen ken ne ka ko bag ngi ko wo yeng padang bu we lo ya de de nge ko lo red ken ko I hope ran chi de nen gar wi dole I think is watching this live also ko jo yen nen Johnson ulo nya think they watching carefully this one too also lana wo che ally both of them at this time wo cha lại đến wo giang padang lana wo có ban problem later on chứ man wan chỉ coi giờ đấy 2013 up to now ấy success là khi we giang padang we chen nothing we chỉ đông non có we nothing we có biết cái bè bên dưới ran cùng we governor yin we pay nga yin we pay bag get to under and control of somebody else and so on you know by we coi của we will not stop here wallahi chubugam wo buta wotane live TV da ne open 24/7 our TV da South Sudan ne tioka sita wala za tamane da ne 24/7 awo pa you guy will inform you guy every time pa ben bil look in challenge ko yin ba gam purta yan kita tin na wona rede wo de ni 160 people watching non fa daman da wo ki lo ko ko yin ba gam purta la bi our colleague ko ka big job ben bi wo ben join soon pa yin in ba gam purta bala twen ko nande ke chabe loy le tere am jobe ben pa yin in chale yare de for your coming for yin le balat. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Daniel, for the wonderful introduction and welcoming. Hello to all of you, my dear audience who are watching the Jing Padang Media. This is Billy Luke. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you may be around the world, because we have different time zone around the world. So that's why I say good evening. It is good evening to people in Africa. It is good morning to people in Australia. And it is good afternoon here in North America and probably maybe Europe. So I hope all of you are doing well wherever you may be. This is Billy Luke. I'm the co-host of the Jing Padang Media. And I would like to introduce the topic that we are addressing today in English. The number one topic that we would like to address this afternoon here in North America is the issue of this split in the SPLMIO faction, split into two. All of you are aware of this development on the ground in South Sudan, and this has actually resolved a day ago into a chaos in McGuinness or wherever they may be. I'm not sure of the specific location where there is a military clash that went on last night or this morning, South Sudan local time. We are not actually sure of the exact time when that clash took place, and we are not even aware of the casualties because that's not our concern. Our concern here, the Jing Padang Media House, is to come and brief you about the overall security situation on the ground. So the purpose of this live video, ladies and gentlemen, is to come and inform the Jing Padang constituencies in particular, because the areas are under a serious security threat from this renegade general. These belligerent generals are actually coordinating what appear to be a military offensive to be carried out against the oil-producing areas. And those who live in the oil-producing areas are mainly Jing Padang, in Upper Nile State and in Ruwing State in particular. These are the areas that are now under potential dynamic targets of the rebel groups that have just split from the Dr. Riek Machar. So the purpose of this video or this live program tonight or this afternoon is to come and inform our people so they can actually maximize the security and to also be on maximum vigilance and alertness in case of any eventuality that is going to take place. So we will quite want to Jing Padang Dai, Pani Ginu Sudan, Tauki Pani Sudan the tree, Utauki Ginup, or the Tauki no East Africa, the Tauki the tree. Mr. Kina Lake Wake, it can back quite back a leg on the ground. A cover and the Yop, back quite one who Kumadun back a Yop, the MPs couldn't be road Yop, be quite cane, big a tow on a leg. Because the Chiran and pay Louis target, Kway. Neki, the initial Johnson Wing, Kwan Dang, a wedding in really got the tongue, the Jing of a dang, a wedding. And keep the visual and kind of matigate. Ka you go Jing of a dang. Okin Michela specifically go through and Kidu, I mean, Ran Kid Garwidwell. Lakin ke Michela da over Yen Manoga and Byron, Ranchal Garwidwell. KK Yen Mat, the Ranchal Johnson Ulay. Ku Johnson Ulay yang Jinuka Ran Coin Dang one can be thought the Jing for Dang, where the pig. Qua Kenne Kay Garwidwell. The Gran Kinma Bordol, a cake mat, Kay Johnson Ulay, Kay New or the New, a Chimaka Gardunda, Ko Jing for Dang. Kenen ko and gan ki de gar widwal e gran tin ma bordol okay Byron e kani information nan ku yo command ran wan cho rul nyang super rul nyang wan ji pya jalo wan tiog wan ji twin ko PSSPDF yen e jal ma lonko ku ka ti loran ki gar widwal ko ku yen cha king jam de yuan medie ke jam gule le won bi ke lo ate ke oil na wi lo cha down ba fi greater pana region. So yen there is a rumor they jam. Ulele yen ran chol Stephen Runyang tek dang abro loy keran military operation ko chuga pinge ko loy military operation din ke split faction from group de riek micha ke yen ran tin ma biyor dol ku jila yen Stephen Ronya kwa ken ale ku we a chan bang ngi ka we jing fa dang ko ke area kun ga bi ke target len ben lang le unity state tui ku de ko ken ke group de gar widwal tawre tui ke yen Stephen Ronya ina be kana bi carry out again it group ne group riek micha ku yen ge area ke ruwen ke ke target ku ja area ke lang na biye ni le ben lang na fa na ten ke ma buyur dul ablang ene fanga wone de taw yi man tawon ten yi fiji yi ene balir county ku jila ye na kogo ku yen malut ku yen rang ke na bi ma buyur dul ku chulu ka bede tungde ke chulu le yen ti dam enam ke target de ke area ke jing fa da men li shin man taw ten go we ko kon garang we ko malut we ko kon ke ka kogo we ko balit we ko fiji so kene na le ku we back to on maximum let there no go leg about operation they be carried out separately mainly ke we ga lu ke target ke we jing fada won ko taw ka ti e kenen ge lo ka topic ro we bok jam tin we want to challenge the government of South Sudan. Government of South Sudan need to establish what we call a military and diplomatic shuttle or channel of communication. Then Sudan government, who is actually a grantor to the bit larger peace agreement, to be challenged for harboring or for hosting the renegade general, the belligerent general that have actually turned against their own chairman, commander-in-chief, Dr. Riek Machar. Sudan, as an independent state or an independent sovereignty, must have to be held accountable for harboring this renegade general, because according to the international law, and you are a part of the peace grantor to the bit larger peace agreement, South Sudan government need to establish this diplomatic channel, this diplomatic shuttle in challenging the Sudan government to comply with the bit larger peace agreement protocol, of which they are hosted and signed to it as a signatory, as a grantor of the bit larger peace agreement. Therefore, Sudan government and its military forces must not harbor any military general that reneged from the peace partner. Under the leadership of Dr. Riek Machar, Dr. Riek Machar is the legitimate leader of the SPLMIO, and he must have to be recognized by the regional and international government that he is a legitimate signatory to the bit larger peace agreement. Therefore, anyone that defects from Dr. Riek Machar should be considered a violator of the peace agreement. And therefore, all these neighboring countries must comply, because Ethiopia, Kenya, Uganda, and Sudan are grantors of the revitalized peace agreement. Therefore, any military general that defect from any of these military wing that have signed the peace agreement, known as the revitalized peace agreement, must have to be held accountable for violating the peace agreement. Therefore, that's why we are challenging the government of South Sudan to actually launch this diplomatic, military, legal, and political shuttle diplomacy that must actually challenge the Sudan government not to harbor any belligerent military leaders that defect from any military faction that have signed the peace agreement. This is what we need to advise Dr. Riek Machar to actually launch this diplomatic, political, legal channel with the Sudan by demanding that these two military generals, those of General Garwidwal, those of General Johnson Woolen, and those of General Maburdul, they ought to be arrested and to be handed over to the government of South Sudan for violating the peace agreement, of which the Sudan government is actually a signatory as a grantor of the revitalized peace agreement. If this military general actually intrude into the Ethiopian territory, the Ethiopian government should also hold them accountable for violating the peace agreement. Otherwise, South Sudan government must have to be serious. We cannot continue to entertain anyone that reneges or go against the peace agreement, of which all these neighboring countries are signatory to it as the grantors of the revitalized peace agreement. So this is what I refer to as diplomatic shuttle, military shuttle, because the SSPDF, South Sudan People Defense Force, must also launch a diplomatic channel with the Sudan Armed Force in challenging them for harboring this renegade general. So Dr. Riek Machar also need to do the same thing because he's a signatory to the revitalized peace agreement. Therefore, Dr. Riek Machar ought to be advised, and we are using this medium of communication to obtain our message to Dr. Riek Machar group, because Dr. Riek Machar group ought to be recognized and they ought to be supported by the unity national government of South Sudan. The current government of South Sudan is no longer a government of Salva Kiir Mayardit. It is a national unity government that composed of the opposition and the mainstream SPLM, the incumbent presidency under His Excellency Salva Kiir Mayardit. So Salva Kiir Mayardit, as the president of South Sudan, passed by President Dr. Riek Machar and all the other politicians that are part of this revitalized peace agreement, they should unite themselves against anyone that go against the peace agreement, the revitalized peace agreement. Therefore, we consider this a violation of the peace agreement. This military general, if they are allowed to operate as they desire or as they wish, then they are likely to derail the whole peace agreement. That means it is likely to take us back to square one, whereby we have to start it from the scratch. And that's not what we want to do at this point. So that's why it should be an obligation, responsibility of the national unity government of South Sudan to make sure they challenge the Sudan government, they challenge the Ethiopian government, they challenge the Kenyan government, they challenge the Ugandan government, any neighboring country that is a grantor to the revitalized peace agreement, to make sure they track down this military general that reneged again in the peace agreement, and they have to be held accountable. This is exactly what needs to be done. Following the last night clash among themselves as SPLMIO forces, it is alleged that General Wulong and General Galwidwal might have actually slipped into the Sudan territory, and they could be hiding there. So this raises a question of diplomacy, whether Sudan government or Sudan Armed Force is actually harboring this military general. This is what the SSPDF of South Sudan need to launch its military channel in communicating with the Sudan Armed Force to actually not harbor this military general, because they are actually going to disturb the peace agreement. The same thing, South Sudan Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation should also do the same thing. Establish a diplomatic channel with the Sudan Foreign Affairs Office in making sure this military general should not be allowed to stay in Khartoum. This is actually becoming a safe haven for them. This is not acceptable. This is a violation of the peace agreement, and we cannot continue to fool ourselves that we are here for the implementation of the revitalized peace agreement, of which all these neighboring states are actually grantors to the revitalized peace agreement. So this is what we need to appeal as Jing Padang Media, and this is what you need to do as the representative of all the constituencies that are now being threatened with a wider security threat. So we must do this to stop any deterioration of the security situation on the ground. So this is what I want to attend. The third topic that we would like to discuss also is to appeal directly to first Vice President Dr. Riek Machar, now that General Galwidwal has actually rebels against his own leadership. It is time for you to also question whether the Upper Nile governor should also be considered as one of your party member, because you appointed General Abudok as a member of the Agwele, And according to what we have been observing so far, the whole members, the entire membership of the Agwele that were under your command as the commander-in-chief have actually defected along with the General Johnson Woy. Therefore, this also raises the question of whether General Abudog is actually legitimate to be recognized as the governor, since Agwele have actually declared war on Jing Fada. And we cannot have an enemy within and an enemy outside. That's why we have to attend this message as a concerned citizen of Jing Fadang, that this actually compromises the security situation of Jing Fadang on the ground. Therefore, we should actually call for the removal of General Abudok as the governor of Upper Nile State, because he compromised the security and the territorial integrity of Jing Fadang. That is what he took up arms along with General Johnson Woy, because he's the number 2 military general after General Johnson Woy as an Agwele general. So this is a concern that you need to raise as the MPs or representative of Jing Fadang in Juba. Go to the office of the first Vice President, Dr. Riek Machar, and lodge that complaint. Don't expect Dr. Riek Machar to take a unilateral action without being engaged politically. So this is the concern of your people, and at the same time, you should be aware there are Agwele elements within the government control area. So there is a communication going on as General Woy is actually going to carry out any military offensive. So this risks security. So for us to mitigate the security threat, you should actually lodge a complaint now, and that message goes to you as the Deputy Governor of Upper Nile State, Honorable Tormon Bui. You need to take that into consideration. What are you going to do about this security threat? So the security of Jing Fadang is actually being compromised, and the territorial integrity is going to be compromised as long as General Abudok remains the governor of Upper Nile State. So don't wait until it is too late. General Woy is actually waging a military offensive. This is the opportunity now. And it is time for you at Jing Fadang to liberate your areas once and for all. Thank you. And I hope I will wait a little bit and see if we can actually add more after I hear from the rest of the panel. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Bill. Yeah. Thank you very much, Billy.
The benefit of other viewers. So
Thank you,
very much
Billy,
for
and thank you, Magog, for coming, and thank you, Coach, for coming. And I shared the link there. Somebody called Kong Palchual. I sent you the link there, but the link is already there in media of Padang. But you can click there, and I send you personal also. You can see the. Coach, I thank you, and you will come next to Magog. Magog, welcome to Jing Padang Media, and I will give you. You already know what we're talking about. We just want to analyze, and we here telling people what do you see it going to happen. So I can give you the chance to go ahead, Magog, and thank you very much.
SPLMIO.
SPLMIO.
I need a machine Gidam.
Yeah, we will go Gidam Tawali.
Yes, comrades. We've been talking about this for many years and many months and many days and many minutes and many hours. There is nothing beyond giving ourselves the chance for us to talk about what is going on in our beloved Mother Republic of South Sudan. For us, we've been in the same situation and we are not going to change it. Why? Because, yes, Riek Machar is a vice president. So what is going on? He's the leader. Hopefully, he is the worst or the yesterday's leader. For us, especially myself personally, we are for only one thing: peace, love, and unity. there should never be a reason for those whom are preaching peace, love, and unity while they are cooperating with the destruction of our mother Republic of South Sudan. For us, it happened and it happened. The question is it Nuer and Denka? And if it is Nuer and Denka, why is it happening in Maganais where there is no Denka? And if it is that the whole cause, well, we are not fighting for what? We are not fighting for who got killed yesterday and who got killed today. We are fighting for positions. Myself, I'm fighting for position. If you do not recognize my position right here in Nebraska, as Ran Matianganyor, fuck you. This is mine. You want to fight Kir? Go fight Kir. For us, let's pay attention to what is going on, comrade. Comrades, let's see it. We've been feeding those people. I'm a Nuer myself. We are not for anything less than recognition of love and respect of our flag. If they don't recognize it, well, we all alive until we go home to our heavenly kingdom. Last advice to my brother, Billy Luke, my brother, Apadang are not individuals. Apadang are heroes. Apadang are victims of whatsoever happened and is still happening now. If you are a pro-peace, love, and unity, please refrain from Apadang and this and this and that. We are not, we are not for none of this business. We are for only one thing. If they want to fight us, we must stand together. We stood together. That's why we are feeding garbage. My brother, let's talk. Garwedwell was attacked, and Ajamu, Ujesh, Vita Garwedwell, Masak Dababa, Umafia Jatare Bukun Mafish. Garwedwell, Lazim, Yugul, Wagima Destur. Loma Wagima Destur, fuck him too. They are Kanamitai. Anina Machine Gadam. SPLMIO.
Thank you very much, Magog. Before Brother Quite come, we say we don't know exactly what the Garwidwell is gonna replacing. It will replace the signature, will replacing the peace talk, replacing everything. But we don't have no problem for replacing all of this. But what we need to do now, do you think is gonna make a really change to take out Mr. Machar? Because we know we have a problem with Machar all long time. You have a problem with Machar, I know. But I don't think you have a problem with Garwidwell. But how do Garwidwell come and replace all these signature, all this agreement, all these things? Just 1 minute. If you know some answer, you can just, just your opinion before brother quite come. So I just want to give you 1 minute if you can answer this question. Do you think it will replace all of this Riek Machar sign an agreement and all everything? Do you think Garwidwell will come and do all of this in order to change Riek Machar?
Riek Machar has been changed on the 15th of December 2013. It is up to Garwidwell. Garwidwell, if he's a man enough to prove that point, he's a man. But if he doesn't, he's a joke. I think and I believe Garwidwell will do it. And he's ready, and Chuan will make it through. Yes, Garwidwell has prevailed. He has been used for many years, but now he realized that there's no more time to be used. Yes, Garwidwell will prevail if they attack our constitutional forces. Okay, it's not going to be between Riek Machar and Garwidwell. It's not going to be between Nyandi and Kidi Ran Keroge Wenbai and Garwidwell. It will be something else. Thank you, comrade.
Thank you, comrade. Thank you very much, comrade Magok. I don't have too much question. You right. Garwidwell is watching us today too, so he will see there. Let him prove it. Let him prove it, and then we will see him there in Juba. No problem. This is gonna be the good title to him. But let him prove it, like you said. But we don't have no answer for now. Banya koy duop a koy duop in chira giờ chắc rồi bany đi lôi đi bilu look de 1 minute del will give up.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
kala la pay
Daniel, I would
ko
like to add
patient
something.
just loy ke 1 minute ya chan ba koy
Yes, yes,
ben.
absolutely. I just want to add something to the comment you just made to brother Gerald Matianganyo, aka Magog Gang. I think Magog is not a member of the SPLMIO. Therefore, it doesn't deserve to be asked any question regarding the political or military disintegration going on among the members of the SPLMIO. So I think that question was misplaced. However, ladies and gentlemen, I want to make this statement very clear. As Jing Padang Media co-host, I would like to make it very clear that our media is not coming live here to discuss about the split in the SPLMIO. That's not what we are here for. And that's not even our focus, to come and elaborate to you what happened, why it happened. We don't want to engage that. So I just want to caution you in case another person might want to come in and talk about it. Maybe members of the IO can actually come and talk about it if they have the opportunity to be available to them here on this forum. So, but I want to make it very clear, as the co-host of Jing Padang, we stand for stability, we stand for peace, and whoever is the partner to the peace agreement, which is revitalize the peace agreement. That's why I said earlier, anyone, because I consider first by President Dr. Riek Machar as a legitimate legal signatory to the revitalize the peace agreement. And given the fact that he committed himself to remain with the national unity government, all of us as South Sudanese, regardless of our partisan affiliation, should support him. Why should we support him? Because he's actually there to commit himself to implement the revitalize the peace agreement. Therefore, anyone that defects from the Riek Machar group is considered someone who is actually violating the peace agreement. And that is contrary to what we believe in as the principle of people who want to respect the revitalize the peace agreement. So that is why I'm challenging all of you as South Sudanese, regardless of your respective political affiliation, that we have to support anyone that is a partner to the peace agreement. That is why I do compliment Dr. Riek Machar for standing firm despite what his military general are doing. So his military general, those of General Johnson Woolley and General Garwidwell, they are wrong in what they are doing because they shouldn't defect against the commander-in-chief. According to the military term, all of you are very familiar. In military, you don't have to disobey your commander-in-chief. If you disobey your commander-in-chief, what do you think will happen? You will likely either you will be removed, or you will be excommunicated, or you will be dealt with militarily. That is exactly what happened, according to my understanding of the military protocol. So I believe General Garwidwell and General Johnson Woolley have actually violated the orders of the commander-in-chief, Dr. Riek Machar. Therefore, if Dr. Riek Machar take any military offensive against the renegade, those who obey his orders as the commander-in-chief, that is what they deserve. I'm not encouraging war, but that is considered an internal affairs of the IO. So what I'm supporting here is the stability and the peace. Therefore, if you are coming to this platform and say something, you should understand why I sympathize with the first vice president. And that's why I feel directly to the national unity government of South Sudan, that they should actually stand behind Dr. Riek Machar, because he's actually committed. What he has demonstrated is a commitment to peace agreement. And that is what we want. We want to make sure all the protocol that peace agreement must have to be implemented. Is that not what we stand for as South Sudanese? If anyone support General Johnson Ulun or General Garwidwal or General Maburadol or General Stephen Boyer, these are the people that want to wage a military offensive.
Dude,
I know there are some people who want to take advantage of that.
Brother,
but this has nothing to do with the political differences with Dr. Riek Machar.
Come on, man. Recognize what you said yesterday. Do not forget it. What did you say yesterday? And what are you saying now? Are you with them or are you with us?
Are you asking me
a
question?
Come on, man. I'm asking you a question. The way you talk now, you're part of this rubbish business. Who are supporting garbage with the what are you talking about?
Okay, I should answer that question. Right?
Matekte, please give me a chance. Give me a chance, guys.
Go ahead, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Bill Look, just wait a minute. Magog, just wait a minute. Guys, أنا بتكلم عربي. السلام عليكم كلكم. بسلم عليك برضو يا Bill Look. Are you hearing me, guys, well? Okay, good. Bill Look, I'm greeting you in the name of Padang community with Mr. Matektek. Yeah, Matektek, I put my name there, Dupio. That is the name I was teaching Dinka. I did not remove it. Dupio. You know, guys, I'm Matianganyor Magog is a full supporter of the government. We are here as a Padang community or a Padang media. I think haja bil luga lo akhirda da haja na bugi maw. Nena maji nene acha namul analysis between a Gullek and IO, who is wrong and who is right. That is correct from Bill Look. We are not here to judge who is wrong and who is wrong and who's supposed to do, but you can add your own opinion, like Bill Look put it. The same thing, Magog will add his opinion. What I'm saying, before I come here, guys, I listen all the Nuer show. All our Nuer show, I listen to them, including Magog. Magog today, he did 2 shows by himself. And then he go to another person show and he add over there. So I listen, it's all well. What I'm saying, whatever is going in Magana, we don't like it. Because those who are dying are the Junubin. And they are one-sided, even though Indian should look there, but the majority of those who are dying are on their side. And guys, we don't like that. When the South Sudan got independent, we don't want anyone to be killed by his brother or by his fellowship. That one is not good. That is why Apadang media were talking about the peace through all these things, all this time. Because of the killing, you know, we don't want innocent people to die from Chuluk side or from Dinka side. These things of the land can be solved by the communities, you know. That's the way Apadang was standing for. So what I'm saying, Magog, I know your position, and Bill Look, I heard your opinion. This is all opinion. But guess, guys, when the brothers fight, you and your brother, when you fight, or when the leaders fight, take example of Victor Grant, when he disagree with Kir Mayadi, what happened? Haja ismu Concord intervened already. Nobody did not listen to this one. Concord intervened through the leadership of SPLM membership. They say, hey guys, Concord. Kir Mayadi kira Concord. Grant kira Concord. Kada jama talu le rumbek. And all you in this one, not that much le rumbek. Kir Mayadi gari na undu yal kabir zalan u de riek United. Ibrahim Machar was in. then they address that issues. That is concord mean. Ya Kir Mayadi chuongu because of this 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Grant, this is mistake for you because of 1, 2, 3. What happened? They say, okay, guys, we are the same as Fiala. Let's come together. These gentlemen, they come together and the movement go ahead, right? That is the one example I want to tell my new fellow. Okay, it happened again between Kwalmanyang and Salva Kiir Grinda, who mamul wala titachur. Look what happened. When Kwalmanyang tala yun butaw kubar biga zalan ma Kiir Mayadi du marag min juba. Umaje boro gal wala yake. Alpialam no wala de manaw ni na chung na ko lay war yake. Kiir Mayadi la mulsino. Kiir Mayadi lam ma faj butaw to gal kade a jama kade am chile kade nam chile chu Kwalmanyang da fi bor. Kiir Mayadi defi boru jab wala butaw gal ya jama kade men nyandu ni yake ye wona bodu. Ya Kwalmanyang mala nyin ko nit jaga bebe kade yin bokka tin men ba go Kwalmanyang ko nyin ka roy tin lo ke kon. That is thing the play concord me. So when the man is fighting for reason, the man should fight for reason. You should not fight for no reason. This question will go to Riek Machar. We know Riek Machar is a peace partner. Mati zol indu hak yugulew ya you are not a national peace partner. Lano government Mamul peace man there is a strike and all these sub communities they intervene. Okay, guys, my question is here. Leaders should not confuse the people. Why Riek Machar is confusing the people? Why he has a parallel military outside instead to sit with the government? Akum jej betauda Riek Machar liga jej wen jej bagot film again, and then they call them gal tiger. Ya jama damalak bata. Riek Machar supposed to be with the government fully. Lo garwijwal amul tomorrow. Ugala namade Riek Machar take me is not a Riek Machar to fight garwijwal. It's a government to fight garwijwal or make a peace with garwijwal. Because garwijwal was asking where is the peace. So my analysis as a coach, my opinion, this is my opinion, government should fight garwijwal with Woolach because they are rebel. They are not a part of the peace because they rejected the peace. Government biasir kuma bita Sudan, we yasir le jej bitaw, we yamchi gula garwijwal, what do you want? Ita ma Woolach. Ita their peace or their machaka. Logal walaya kana I don't Riek Machar to be my chairman. Okay, Riek Machar is in Juba. So what is your take now? And they say no, we don't want Riek Machar because the peace did not go the way we want. Okay, what kind of peace you want? 1, 2, 3 Garwidwal good Maul 1, 2, 3 that we did not do it. That's why we don't like Garwidwal. Okay, Kir Mayadi is a regional peace. It will send delegation to Magena and sit down with them. And if they like it or they don't like it, it's up to them with the government. But this is a mistake here. Why Riek Machar has no concord with his own people? Why he right to attack them instead to solve the problem in a good manner? Because these generals, they are the one who take him to Congo. So my opinion, we as a Padang community, we have no part, but everybody has his own opinion. I'm talking now as a part. This guy is called Dr. Machar. He failed with the leadership. If he did not fail the leadership, he should give the report to Kir Mayadi. Ya Kir, can you look at this? Not there. Gal amul tomorrow. Like we are in peace. Not there be amuluke. I wa bada Kir to make an order with this general chief of his staff, and then bukalam magar we gal maule. You know, ubada wula nyindu chino ugarwi gani ndum chino muj humpi magena danat gadin bi yedenu majama ma indu mai power lo jeg beta junubu Sudan makile wina galere torodum ma torodum lo dere amul peace ma yamul peace ma lakin le Dr. Riek Machar he right to attack these people as we have. What I'm saying as a Padang community, a Padang media, we have to listen to these guys. Those who are fighting, they are brothers and sisters, and they know each other. I listen to Magog, I listen to Manuel Dial, I listen to Rodwell. These things, they are brothers and sisters are fighting. But why Riek Machar right to fight these guys? Why he cannot take, the concord like?
Can I answer to a coach?
Let me finish. I will give it to you.
I would like to respond to
let me finish.
And General Magog, because you seem to contradict yourself.
Let quite finish. Billy, look, hold on 1 second. Go ahead, yeah.
Okay, so
Magog, hold on 1 second. I will mute all of us. Okay, I'll quite go.
Okay, what I'm saying, just guys, take it easy. This show today, Bill, look with you, Matek. You should invite it IO side, but Riek Machar and invited IO, but Agarwidwa, and listen to them. But we, as a Padang media, we just come here to talk for peace. We don't need fighting, Lakin le Riek Machar, Amul order le nat butawa chanam chiadruk nazel, unazel ma they did not start the fighting. So what I am saying, Riek Machar should hold on the peace and cooperate with the Salva Kiir to punish this guy, not him to take his own face. Where you got these forces, Lanu, he is in the government. He should not have his own forces. So thank you. I will stop there and then give it to you back.
Okay, come on, Bill. Look, come on, Bill. Look, just don't take it 10 minutes. If you want to respond, just 1-2 minutes, so we can share to each other. Yeah. Go ahead, Bill. Look,
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, let us try to calm a little bit and let's debate one-on-one, because this is about reasoning. This is about the revitalized peace agreement. So according to the protocol of the peace agreement, it is a legal document. And a legal document contains the name of those who are signatory to it. Dr. Riek Machar is legitimate and he's a partner, he's a stakeholder in the revitalized peace agreement. Therefore, it is incumbent upon the government of South Sudan to make sure they support their peace partner. But if that peace partner has a problem with his or her own members, in the case of the IO, now they split, this is considered an internal conflict within the SPLMIO, isn't it? So it is obvious that these two generals have been resistant to join the government ever since their commander-in-chief, Dr. Riek Machar, joined the government of South Sudan to implement the revitalized peace agreement. I know, General Magog and Akot, you are the supporters of the government of South Sudan, isn't it? I think all of you, your position is very clear. So it's kind of like you are actually favoring General Johnson and General Garwidwal against Dr. Riek Machar. And Dr. Riek Machar is part of the unity government as we speak. That means he's committed to peace agreement. But General Garwidwal and General Johnson, they say no, there is no peace. So if they refuse to be part of the revitalized peace agreement, that means they want to take the country back to the war. That's why I say Dr. Riek Machar as a vice president ought to be supported by anyone that is for peace and stability of the country. So I believe, Brother Koch and General Magog, both of you, you contradict yourself. You contradict yourself if you think Dr. Riek Machar should be condemned. Dr. Riek Machar have a right because he's actually being hosted.
Billy, look, is it Billy, look?
Let me finish, Daniel.
Yeah, no, I want to explain to you. I did not say. I say the government should go to fight these two guys.
Opinion. This is not a matter of opinion. This is a matter of implementing the revitalized peace agreement. Therefore, what I'm trying to say here is legitimizing the support for Dr. Riek Machar, because Dr. Riek Machar is a partner to peace agreement. But when I say the national unity government, they ought to support it. Why? Because it's committed to peace and stability. So that's why I'm saying you are contradicting yourself, despite the fact that you support the government. That means if you support the government, you are supporting the peace and stability. So when you say no, Dr. Riek Machar should not fight his own general who topple him militarily, that is a big question. So that is supposed, Dr. Riek Machar is supposed to be backed up by the South Sudan government. Even if it means militarily, he has to be backed up. Why? Because these groups are against the peace. They are actually threatening the whole country, not Dr. Riek Machar as an individual. And that's why they refuse to join the government in the first place. So they are against the peace agreement. So, Brother Mago, where is your position here? If you support Gerald Garwidwal and Gerald Johnson Ulun, then you contradict yourself. Dr. Riek Machar is for peace. That's why he's in Juba.
Come on, man.
He's being coupled. He has the right to respond because these people, they want to take his military forces away.
They're killing themselves. Why are we being blamed for them killing themselves? Did we tell them to kill themselves? I personally know. Why are they killing themselves? Should we just sit aside when we love ourselves as South Sudanese? We must stop it. Yes, our leadership failed to stop it. So what are you trying to say? What are you talking about? Please, before I leave. What are you talking about?
They are threatening peace and stability, not just Dr. Riek Machar. That means they want to wage a military offensive. That's why they talk about toppling the government, because there's no peace. Why would they question the government, the national unity government? This is not Salva Kiir Mayardit government. This is a national unity government. When I talk of national unity government, it is a legal document signed in the revitalized peace agreement. So everyone is a party to protect this peace agreement. Therefore, it shouldn't be incumbent upon Dr. Riek Machar as the vice president. It should be all of these political parties that sign the peace agreement to protect it against anyone that go against it. And in this case, Gerald Garwidwal and Gerald Johnson Olony are against this peace agreement. And that's why we need to consolidate our position and fight them.
Yes.
That is very clear.
As you just said Gerald Garwidwal, Gerald Johnson Olony, they are against this. What, for yourself personally, what should we do? We, the government.
Well, what they should do is that they are being requested, join the government, join your commander-in-chief, Dr. Riek Machar, and implement the peace. But from the very beginning, they have been refusing to be part of the peace agreement. Even the Sudan government is supposed to urge them, please join the Juba government under the national unity government, implement the revitalized peace agreement. They should trust in their commander-in-chief. But what they have done is called a military coup against their own commander-in-chief. Therefore, I think Dr. Riek Machar has a right to respond in the way he did. That is just a clash between the military officers under the command of Dr. Riek Machar. So there are those who are loyal to Dr. Riek Machar and those loyal to Gerald Garwidwal. So what do you think in military situation? You should expect that there could likely be a military clash if somebody is trying to desert the military. This is obvious.
My brother,
one thing
I believe in this. Dr. Riek Machar signed the peace agreement and he is in Juba. I don't see a reason for Garwidwal and Johnson Olony to say there is no peace. Why? Because Riek Durjo is their leader. And if he's not their leader...
Mark, you agree with Billy Luke now. That's what Billy Luke is saying.
Okay, let me make this very clear so that brother Margot can understand. Margot, it would have been legitimate for Gerald Johnson Olony, Gerald Garwidwal, to come to Juba and then call for a conference to change their leadership, in a democratic way. If they would have done that in Juba, inside Juba, when they joined the government, the national unity government, I think their call or their demand would have been recognized by the national unity government. So they're supposed to come to Juba and remove their leader. That thing should have been done democratically in the General Assembly. But if they refuse to be part of the national unity government and refuse to join the government from the very beginning when the peace was signed, that means they are not for peace, but they are for war. And that's why we say Dr. Riek Machar is legitimate and he can never be left alone. He has to be supported by the national government. Salva Kiir Mayardit ought to support it. And if Salva Kiir Mayardit and anyone supporting the government here, if you don't want to support Dr. Riek Machar, that means you are against the peace yourself. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Billy Luke. Magog, I give you 1 minute. If you want to answer, I want to give the chance to Wilson. I will not go back to you and Billy Luke. For just your side, we don't need to say you know exactly. It's just your opinion, and that's it. Because you don't know now, like you say, Garwij will let him prove it. Okay, he will prove it one day. So we don't have a problem there. Do you want to say anything 1 minute before I give it to Wilson? Ben Matiang Anyot.
Well, comrades, we are not for war. We are for peace, love, and unity. And it is the reason why we've been in this situation. We never won. We never hoped for any bloody conflict. For us, we the native and we the supporters of the government under the leadership of Hero Nyaldi and Gran Keroge, we don't want war. We want peace. For us, whether it is in, whether it is out, that's it, man. We had enough. So, my brother Wilson, I hope you're not in the same page with that brother.
Billy Luke.
That dude that just spoke on behalf of Riek Machar, Billy Luke. Thank you, comrades. Anina Machine Gadam.
Thank you, Magog. You just stay somewhere there. You are 1 minute later on. You will come later. Ben Wilson, you took later ready event in event. Thank you very much for coming. But you in Bulu, welcome. You already know the topic the chat on your show yesterday. So you know ba put follow along na ko bala tu. But in took later. Thank you.
Apiat with a cake later ready to Kaito Studio with
Topic we become yogi, Ben Daniel. I can before I quite a ping minute. You ping Wilson undi.
No, I need to think about
I am back in yogi topic. I can be got clear because I'm near back or be there comment and the waiting. A two will win be okay general awareness. Boko for Ben Lek because the tension in Lord Can a book for big effect. In case number 1. Kero K ye in a counter choke jam, Kere Tumman team, take your jam team. Okay, you know, Ran Kiriak Macha, I call below support the national unity government because yen are committed to peace. And when I say that, that not mean any member of that Ran Kiriak Macha. That's the way people want to portray me, but that's not the case. I'm trying to support whoever is a partner to the peace. I get the lower support. That's a good thing. Kero Chamati, quite manunga again is a peace agreement and Louis implement to Juba. I feel because by horse neighboring country, Timothy Sudan. And then again is a bit large bit peace agreement. I keep the ball a lawyer, but tree, a Katum. What be quite Ethiopia, a lawyer up, while a Kenya, while a Uganda. Because the country take it granted, take a won't get it door. But door implemented. So I keep about Paul bigger, Ethiopia, big bear cat Ethiopia, will be Belakian Sudan. A can a call be their military channel, who political, who diplomatic channel, be take established, who be Sudan government, be jam. Be Junus, be Chumal Sudan, be York, really. Ranum Chagan is peace. Do not be a chalare pound. Ningeran Corbedo, Birolo, the Junus Sudan, Captain Bucket Domacoke, we have a yin quite Junus Sudan. In Kedo Lordy, Lakin Chidante, Bella again is the door in TD, Babella Cabello or the Canaka. So I will be Junus Sudan, be Jamaican. By Nana Junus Sudan, who opposition, I call be called around Kajado, Kidman Town Henry. Còn mình cái chiếc giờ như câu cái gì là nó trên đo thôi, tôi mới ra nên là cái trên đo thôi cái ngon luôn, mà cái trong nó quý, cái đi cái anh giảm thì cái quê cái toal đúng cái quê giếng phải đã, quê với quý bác giảm là anh chỉ riêng mấy cha, mình tin chỉ là anh cho John Johnson lên trên giờ giờ lấy thôi, Quran đấy, anh chỉ quan niệm cái này gấp nạp đã phân nào, cái ra đấy, đúng rồi cái gấp nạp đã phân nào, Ulen aja tong again gieng pada. Una aja tong again gieng pada. ye pia bran ci jora la budok bi ngor ke ye deputy waya budok ye le ye nan ke wulon inte ye bi taw di ne kana ci security dun mu compromise inte topic di yak woncha kale.
All right.
By Wilton Jala Magog, we need to make sure that we get the chance first before you say something, because we don't need to interrupt each other.
We are on the same track. Last night we just talking about awareness with the security threat on the ground. That's what we did last night. The reason we say security threat, some of the Junubin may not understand why Padang involved. We are in the middle of where the fight has been fight every time and then, because whenever there is disagreement in the central government, suddenly we find ourselves to be victimized by our neighbors or our cousin without reason. It happened in 91, it happened in 2013, and it happened when Wulonyi rebel from the government and later make Jiang Padang victimized. In this case, it makes us always to be aware. And I can tell you why we are in the middle of nowhere. Within Malakal, south of Malakal, there are a base. And we spoke in last 2 weeks ago about what will happen. And this is exactly that we predicted based on analysis, that if there is fighting to be broken out, there will be a division among the IO themselves within the three current group right now. There will be people supporting Riek Machar, and there will be people supporting Garwi Dwal. There will be people supporting Dwer Tut. And that's what exactly happened today. So on behalf of Jiang Padang, we are giving our people awareness based on what we know. IO have a base in Maban, east of Malut County. IO have a cantonment in south of Malakal, the place called Kaldagi or somewhere there, south of Malakal town. And then IO have cantonment in Nasser. Now, if this war is going to be fought, whether you are with Garwit Dwal, where the reinforcement going to come from? If the reinforcement come, where are they going to across to go to the West Bank? It is Jiang Padang territory. And without agreement or without arrangement, Jiang Padang will see this is the threat. If there are reinforcement coming, they either will come through Balia to Malakal, or they will come through Maban to Malut. And in that case, put us on a threat. Because we don't trust all of them. They are not good friends. So we are giving awareness of Jiang Padang based on what, and West Bank, the place where the fighting is now in Maganes and Kitgwang. Kitgwang is far north, is opposite, close to Jalhat before. It's on the River Nile, that's where they moved their headquarters, and then Maganes is far a little bit north. So, with that being said, it is concern for us to be washed out within Malakal town, to be washed out a remnant of the IO who are in Maban, to be washed out a remnant of IO who will come through Nasser and try to go and do this. So this awareness is not just from the blue. We are very concerned, like I say, we've been victimized 91, 2013, 2015 by Ulun. So this is one of the reasons we are involved. We are not part of their fighting, but we know that when they fight and they cannot find something to unite themselves, they will attack the vulnerable group. So these are the thing that we are concerned. On the fighting they are doing right now, it is really, unfortunately, something that we all, my heart is broken, because these are brothers fight themselves. And I really pass my condolences to those who died from the both sides, whether from Garwidwal or from the Riek Machar, because they both South Sudanese, they both knew in the first place. They should not be died because of the regime change or the coup attempt. And that alone is a heartbreaking. Now, the other peer, they will put the Upper Nile state into insecurity right now. People went back to 10 state. There is a development going on. I mean, there is no development yet, but the government is almost finished. We see last week, the levying fund was the General Assembly of the National Legislation, and it was being sworn in. What left ya Jama if those Garwidwal and Johnson Wulon should wait? It was an arrangement for the integration of the army forces. That's what left. And then the state legislation. These are the two left. I have no idea why they rush in. Yes, Riek Machar is not being good for them, but why they wait until this time now? That should something that they should be blamed for that. Why they wait until this time to do the coup against Machar? And I say 2 weeks ago, it would be better for the entire IO who are against the Riek Machar to go in Juba and do their conference, like Riek Machar been doing conference of the IO, and vote him out within Juba. That will be a good removable without single person to die. But now look, people are killing themselves. That's the one thing. I am in point of analysis right now. Now the government is in position now. I don't know what they are planning, but the peace has already been jeopardized by the coup attempt. And that's what the people English used to say, what go around, come around. Gadmacha used to rebel against their own bosses. Now today, a lot of people rebel against him. It started from Gadir, he rebelled 2016. Garhot Garkwat rebel the same year. Chang San Leo rebel against him when people were in the peace in Addis Ababa. Why he does not fight with those guys? He just come forth with Garwidwal now. Whether he's seeing Garwidwal is the threat more than those guys, I don't know. So for me, the mistake, Machar should not attack this. He should have to ignoring them and practice his right that has been given by this document, the PCA document. Machar have a legitimate as a signatory of the peace agreement where he can argue without fighting bullet. He can talk with IGAD, he can talk with the government of South Sudan. Now, the point is very clear, the support of IO are divided. Now, what should we do as the Southern Sudanese who are outside? We are not a part of the IO. What are the ideas we should give to the government and ideas should give to the IO who are fighting themselves? My first idea was to tell to the government of South Sudan, I will be like Billy Luke. Government of South Sudan should intervene by talking with those groups who are rebelling against their by president to come in Juba and sit down and their security will be guaranteed, and let them come and remove Riek Machar democratically within Juba. That should be one thing. If they refuse, then the government and Riek Machar should have to team up as an allies and fight those who are against the peace. That's the fact, Jama. Garwidwal have no signature here in this document. Never. We have no signature here. Never. So it's not only government, it's a government of unity, where there is SOA and there is OPP and the other parties. Where are they? They need to come out as a unity group, unity government, and speak in one language by convening this fighting going on in Upper Nile to stop immediately. Because the reason, Jama, we Junubin are very easy to adapt the characteristic or behavior. Now, a lot of people are happy oh, Garwidwal is right. Now, if somebody rebel against Garwid tomorrow, if if rebellion is good, then this country will not have a peace. And we don't want to take this style of people when they are not happy with their leader, they will automatically arm themselves and rebel. This is my opinion. So the government and the national unity government should come out with a statement between tomorrow all to this week to speak on one language and contact the IGAD, whether they have to see who is right here, whether these general who are making coup saying that the peace is not, there is no peace. If you see the Wulonyi speech, when he was spoken, he said there is no peace. Jama, we are not Yal, Nina Naskubar. Why there is no peace? Not Raja P 10 state. De Katua Nimrawai. El Dama Salami Aujabu. Within 10 states, Iowa were given 3 governors. And that's Mishi Jabu 30 something minutes, 45 ministerial. They were divided into those parties who were signature of agreement. Is that not a peace? The parliament has been reappointed by the party. The party, based on the percentage that has given to that party, they have to bring the people. Okay, the party bring their own people with all constituencies around South Sudan. Is that not a peace? It's a peace. The state government has functioned. The federal government has been functioned since last year. The ministerial are working, and the parliament was sworn in just 2 weeks ago. Now, if you have a logically, there is no room here for somebody just to pop up overnight, even though you don't like Garmasha, and saying that mean that you are looking for another 8 years to taking people back. You want to put the government to go and negotiate with you, and then this peace will be abolished because only one chapter left, which is so-called security arrangement. I don't think that is the legitimacy. For me, I don't agree with those renegade general to do coup against Garmasha. I know Garmasha is not a good guy, but since he was there, they were the people who supporting Garmasha. They should have to do their coup in Khartoum 2018 before peace agreement. Where were they? For this thing of a style of coup after coup, we don't want to take a style of Nigeria in the early 90s, where the president will be kicked out by coup. Those who say there is no peace because of the security arrangement, I will tell them you should have to wait and give Riek Machar or the unity government a chance to see whether they will integrate those army forces or not. But now we rush in to create another instability and create another war. For my message to the government, they need to intervene right away and talk to both, not only the Salva Kiir, those signatory parties, if there are really parties in South Sudan, where there is SOA, OPP, and the others group, including the SPLMIO. They should have to have an emergency meeting and come out with clear message whom they should condemn. Because this is a club of the peace agreement. Believe me, if you are supporting this group, I don't think it's not good. But this is my point of these 2 generals. On top of that, make it worse. General Johnson Wulong was agenda is not a national agenda. He rebelled because of his piece of land that taken by Jeng Padang. Now, whether they team up here with Garwidwal, would Jeng Padang will accept such? No, I said last night. Anybody allies with Johnson Wulong is enemy of Jeng Padang, because simply Wulong declared war against Jeng Padang. So if you are allies with Johnson Wulong, we will consider you as our enemy. Because this guy, his case should have to be dealt within state level, county level. This issue of land of Malakal, this little piece of land. But unfortunately, It is not working. Coming back to the state governor, there is no need right now. Gadmacha, if he's listening to people, the governor Abudok was brought by ticket of the IO under Agolix as a deputy of Johnson Wulong. Now, if his boss is rebel, we want him to come out very clearly that he's the rebel. He's with the government or with the Riek Machar who appointed him. So we need his position to be clear. Second, we who are a partner of that government within the Upper Nile said, we say we don't need him anymore because his boss was against the Pacific ethnic group within the state. Right now, since his boss is a rebel, automatically he need to be removed because he said last time he is Wulong and Wulong is him. That statement, I think, could take him out. So we are requesting as a citizen of that state, this guy for the time being had to be taken out. I will need to bring a neutral body who is not against the other group within the state. So that is my opinion on that issue. I think I don't know if I forget another one. Billy Luke, you can help me if there is one thing that I did not comment on it.
No, you have said everything. That was a very comprehensive, succinct analysis that you have just contributed. Thank you very much. That is exactly what we are talking about.
So I condemn that fighting. It's a son of the Nuer killing themselves. I condemn it. It should not be happening because of somebody want to become the so-called CNC. They should have to do a diplomatic approach, not to kill people. Tomorrow somebody will go in as a vice president. We already should learn 2013, 15, Garmacha went in as a vice president, normally like there is nobody killed. We cannot use South Sudanese as a toy. Somebody will come and collect them whenever he feel he want to play with them. If he done, he will just throw them in the garage. That's not, these people are human beings. I will stop here. I know there are a lot of people in the studio. I will give you a chance. And thank you for giving me a chance.
I would like to know who is this guest here.
Welcoming.
Welcome. Who is he?
Yeah, I was asking.
Hello?
Yeah, let me. Okay, he left.
I need to drop out.
Yeah. I will give a chance to Ben Manjek. I think that is the only one who is there. Bila look yan bejala adang ko yima control log ting lakin Manjek. I think en begam purta wala dia ke Martin.
Bila look Eran Chigat. He's not one of us.
Yeah. Bila look a kingat.
I will work.
I go with Manjek.
If you have time, you can.
No, Manjek, go ahead. Manjek, we give you a chance. Go ahead, Manjek. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Upper Down Media, and to my colleagues, those who are in the studio. I greet you all and all the audience, those who are watching down there. I greet you all. I know I already went on. I know the topic, what people talking about, and what we are discussing. Is I think is a confusion what happened between Iowa with itself or with among themselves between Garwidwal and the first vice president, which is Dr. Riek Machar. And I've been observed this almost 3 weeks since the discussion start between Iowa, which is are in Juba with the government, and those who left, who call themselves if they are being neglected by Dr. Machar, and they've been left out without and they say the peace are not inclusive. It's not a real peace because of what they're saying. The Iowa army left vulnerable outside without being organized, give a arm weapon, whatever that what they're talking about. I heard they've been back and forth. come to what happened, the action took by General Garwidwal against Dr. Michal. I thought if Dr. Michal were smart enough, he's supposed to team up with the government of South Sudan because they are signatory and peace agreement, which is revitalized, which is brought the stability in South Sudan. That is why we have a little breathing now in the country without meth. I thought he will not take that action by himself and without consulting the government of South Sudan. He's supposed to go with the government of South Sudan, what the government of South Sudan thinks. If someone come and interrupt the revitalize, it's not because of leadership. And I think what he just took a one way. He thought his position being grabbed by General Garwidwal because he had been denowned as the commander-in-chief or a CNC of the IO. That is the only thing I thought is in Michal's mind. But he's supposed to listen, to team up with the government, and if he team up with the government, all the partners, which is IGAD, AU, Troika, which is all the those who were mediator of this peace, to decide if they will say, okay, Michel, you don't have power anymore, so we will not rely on you anymore. And maybe if they turn themselves to the government and say, okay, Michel now left vulnerable, and there is the coup start or against him, and we don't support Michel, that's where Michel should take that action. But as long there is nothing clear from the partners, from the IGAD, from the AU, from the Troika, from wherever, and from the government, he was supposed to be a silent and monitoring this system without take that action. Because any single person die is a Southern Sudanese. It doesn't matter, regardless, from wherever 64 tribe. Yeah, Jama, we suffer enough. We have too much bloodshed in the country. Our vulnerable people die for no reason. And we are already, since we got our independence, since we fought the war, since 1955 up to our population is already done. And we were 12 million since we got the independence. If we minus the people who died during the 2013 war up to now, how much we left? How many people left now? There's no people. So we don't support the bullet. We don't support the barrel of the gun anymore. We need to learn to know to be a negotiating people, to be a people who can be waiting. If something happens, we don't have to rush in quickly and take that action and saying, okay, let us kill people. So only thing I blame Dr. Michel, we never know yet. If he's the one who caused that fire in Magenis, Dr. Michel, that means he rely on leadership only. He don't rely the life of the people of South Sudan. If you a leader, you have to think twice. What will be the consequences of that if you take that action? So I thought that Michel will remain with the government of South Sudan and monitoring those like General Garwidwal and Wolong to see, because when they were had that meeting, I had that speech. Dr. Garwidwal have their own tone, and Johnson Wolong have their own tone. That Garwidwal, he were trying to saying we still have a peace. There will be no fighting. They were trying to give Dr. Michel a pressure to make sure that the parliamentation of the revitalized, which is now, they were critical to Dr. Michel and the government to saying why the government left the troops on the cantonment area without equipment, which is something to eat or something to wear like khaki or whatever. That was a pressure to both government and Michel. But also the IO supporters, which is abroad, not within South Sudan, have this hand. What happened in Magemis? They were the one who pushed General Garwidwal to take this decision right away. Garwidwal were trying to give a partiture to the government and Dr. Riek to trying to go back and see those who left out and make sure that there is no one being neglected here in revitalized and make sure that the troops in the cantonment are being trained well and then amalgamation of the forces between the government of South Sudan or the IO and all the different parties to make sure that amalgamation, the way, will see the Southern Sudan, really Southern Sudan National Army. Unless there were something behind another IO,
Adair, what are you talking about, man?
What?
Adair, what are you talking about? Got a
good what do you say?
What are you talking about?
What I try to do, or if you don't understand me, I'm just saying.
Margot, let him finish his point. Go ahead, Majid. Do not be distracted, please.
Let me finish.
Go ahead.
Let me finish. I know that you are loyal, guy in South Sudan. We never spoke personal before, and I know you are a patriotic guy. But let me finish. I believe in my first start, you should understand. I told to the people of South Sudan, Dr. Michar is already the one who writes. And if he writes, he need to sit down, sit back and wait the activity which is going on in Magamis and see if Johnson Uloin or Garud Dwell saying the peace agreement is not signed with the peace agreement, then Dr. Michar will decide with the government of South Sudan and go and take that action. If the fighting started, it will not be Dr. Michar by himself, it will be government of South Sudan to be number one to support Garudwal. If Garudwal saying, I already fired Michar and I already saying the peace is not working and I need to start from zero, then the government of South Sudan should have a right because this peace in the revitalized peace agreement, we already worth resources to support this peace. We don't have another resources to go and start the peace over. So if Garwit was saying, okay, we dismiss Michal because of the way he managed the IO, and then we will move on with revitalize with the government, then Garwit will have a right to be given space. If we try to come up with the zero discussion of a new peace and saying what Dr. Michal did with the government is not working, then Garwit will have no space. Have no space to be given that chance because we already waste resources to make this peace. Also, what Wilson saying before, we went back to the 10 states. That was the revitalized peace agreement. We had 550 MPs because that was the revitalized peace agreement. We had how many ministers because of revitalized peace agreement. So the only thing left here is arrangement of the forces between the IO with the government. And it was Haja Basit. Haja that's supposed to be done by give the government of South Sudan. And that's what we've been talking about, the people of South Sudan, even members of that PLM party like us, so which is supporting the government. We were saying, don't leave the peace side of peace incomplete and complete the side. So the side I say incomplete is to make sure that all the forces in the cantonment area being trained well, being modified, and that mix them that the Southern Sudan National Army is loyal to the country, not a loyal to any community, not a loyal to any party. That were my demand. If you not understand me, brother Magog. So I'm just saying that to ring Micha have a right not to make a campaign to the partners, which is and to the government and saying, okay, I'm here for peace. I'm not here to kill someone, and I'm not here to cause anything. But let us see what is going on in Magamis without taking that action. That what I was saying is the right to judgment sometimes it came out with a bad consequence. That is why I say we need to make sure that to see what is going on in my game is first before take then action. So that's what I was trying to say, because what I heard they're saying that Michelle Kamada or chief of journalist staff is the one who went to cause that, but we cannot rely on that. We don't know what happened. But the only thing, my conclusion, because I'm going to work, I need to advise our brothers from Nuer, because we are Southern Sudanese. And in Nuer die is I lose my brother. Now, they just kept thinking now on the social media. Those who send with Garwidwal, they keep saying we defeat him. Those who are here, they propagandize by both sides. We will fuel up the war. We will fuel up our brothers to kill themselves, and I don't need that. Nuer is a thought, they really Southern Sudanese. Without Nuer, Southern Sudanese will be not stable. Without Mahdi or Murale or Denka or any Gabila for Sudan, we don't need any Gabila to loot any Gabila. Yeah, Jama, because of interest, because of political interest. So what I need to advise our brothers from Nuer, don't fuel up the war drama. Because what I see now, the media, both sides are everyone try to claim a victory. We will increase, which is fuel up the tension between the brothers, and people will kill themselves. And if things happen, it will spread. Like Tona Ku saying, our people lack of civilization, lack of education, and they listen where the war happened, they run over there, and you go and grab the gun without learning what is going on, and people kill themselves randomly. That's what we have in South Sudan. So we need our both sides, those who are in the West, to use a language who can cool down the tension, not who pull up the tension.
Comrade Adair, we the Matianganyor, we are not for war.
I know. I'm
for war, my brother.
I know you know me. Maybe you don't know me. I support.
What choice do we have?
Let me finish. I'm done now. I'm going to work. I know we are a government. We are not for war. But if we sit back and wait without intervene, then there will be the mess. And this fire will spread to the South Sudan. We have no road. We have no.
The National Guard, Mighty Matianganyor, are in uniform. They're ready. We are ready. And we are
let him finish.
Order from Bill Farm.
Let him finich his point, please, and then.
Let me finalize. What I can tell you guys, because at time there are limit, interruption war is not an option. We need the government of South Sudan to come up with a statement and stop both sides, because this fire will spread to the vulnerable people, to those who are relying on the border, like upper down areas, like especially Rang and Malut, wherever. We don't need that to happen in our back door. So what we need to our government, let them to intervene and make sure that like what happened in Abia last time, when incident happened between the peace partner between the government of South Sudan and the Sudan, they were able to manage to stop the Tolias. So we need our government not to sit back and wait, because if this peace is collapsed between what is called, if we allow General Garwidwal and Woloy to mess up the country and cause war, then we will go back to square zero, and I don't need that. And that is the responsibility of the government of South Sudan to intervene, to see if Garwidwal don't listen, then the government of South Sudan, they have right to go and cry them out. If they're saying we are sent for peace and we are not for the leadership, and we are not to dismiss Riek because we need to start from zero, then the government should have a right to support, should have a right to support John Garwidwal if he stands for peace, for revitalize, if he needs things to be corrected. Otherwise, if he's trying to come up with a new revolution, new negotiation piece, never. The government have right to go, and if they listen, they will be crushed because we don't need to start from zero. That is my conclusion. But we support him when he start clear. We are standing for peace. This thing is among our party. We try to dismiss Riek because Riek do this and do this. And you, the government of South Sudan, will stand with you, and we will go with the whole procedure to make sure that the peace parliamentation goes smoothly. Then the government should have a right to support Garwidwal. Otherwise, if he comes his own way, the government will have a right to combine with Salib with Riek, and they deserve to be crushed. That's what I can tell you. And that is my conclusion. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Banminjie, for the wonderful analysis that you have just contributed to the Jing Fadang media. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we are about to come to an end of the program. And so I would like to give you exactly 2 minutes, Comrade Margot. And if you can say something for the last minute, then I will go to the rest of the panel. Are you with us, Margot? Okay, Coach, if you would like to jump in, please say something, because we are almost 2 hours and we don't want this to go beyond 2 hours.
Hello?
Yes, Magog, I give you the platform to say something.
Yes,
for 2 minutes.
comrade, family, brothers, we are not for war. The war has been imposed on us. Is it wrong or right for us to defend ourselves? That is what they are talking about. And if that is the case, well, we are ready to defend ourselves. We are not for war. Riek Machar, Riek Mabidurjo, send those guys to attack Garwidwell. I'm not a pro anything that have anything to do with Riek Mabidurjo. Nothing. I hope our government should intervene before anything escalates to countless deaths. For us, we the nationalists, we the comrades, we the Matianganyor, we the government of the soldiers, we have nothing to say that we don't want death. We don't want that death. We don't want it, my brother. Please, I might be a bit off the line, but my point is this. They attacked us. They attacked the constitutional forces while their leader is right there in Juba being fed by us, we the Matianganyor. We don't want that to happen. We've lost a lot of our family members, whether you with the government or you with the looters. All of this happened, and we don't want to continue this business because it doesn't sound good and it does not help us move forward. For us and we, the diasporas, we must maintain the whole fact of we must not promote the killing of our people. That doesn't make sense at all. For me, I have nothing to say more than this, but my brother, look at your own words. You sounded like you are pro-garbage. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Comrade Magog, for the wonderful conclusion. And I also want to say thank you very much for being here with us throughout the program. We're looking forward to discuss more so that people can be able to comprehend exactly why any of the peace partner ought to be support. As long as they support, they revitalize the peace agreement. That is why I'm being sympathetic to whoever is the signatory to the peace agreement, because that is what is required by the legal document of the revitalized peace agreement. So in this case, ladies and gentlemen, I have seen a lot of you commenting, and that is quite contradictory When some of you say that, why is Dr. Riek Machar doing that and this and that? Well, this is an internal issue within his own forces. And so I believe, according to my own understanding, Dr. Riek Machar did not give any order, but given the tension among the military officers of the IO, I think
Are you
that is
lying?
why
Are you
that
telling
clash
the truth?
happened. That is
Are
why
you lying? Truth.
that is why that clash happened, because when there is a tension among the military officers, that is what happened. So maybe this was not an official declaration of war, but that's what happened. So we are not here to judge about what happened exactly, but the fact that this group refused to come to Juba, we look at them as if they are not for peace and stability of our country. And that's why all the peace partners, all the past by president and the president of South Sudan, they have to be supportive of the peace partners. And that is exactly what I'm saying here. I'm not trying to declare myself as a member of the SPLMIO, but what I'm saying is I'm supporting anyone that is a partner to peace agreement. And that means, first by President Dr. Riek Machar stand for the peace, but these two
All right.
generals,
Peace and love.
they refuse
Bye.
to come to Juba. Now, God, please don't interrupt. These two generals refuse to come to Juba, and they mean something. That means they threaten war. This is no longer about the leadership of Dr. Riek Machar, because they didn't remove Dr. Riek Machar legitimately. So if you threaten this peace agreement, it means you are against the entire nation. And that is why they threaten military offensive. I don't. Most of you are military members. You are experienced soldiers, and you know how military protocol work. You know, when these two generals refuse to come to Juba, what do you expect them to do? Do you expect them to just sit there in the bush and do nothing? They threaten the peace agreement. They
My
threaten
brother,
to launch a
the whole point
revolutionary
we had
war
enough.
against South Sudan. So, my
Never
friend,
no war.
Magog, you contradict yourself too much. And I don't want to argue you further beyond this point, because I respect your opinion. But you cannot say you are a pro unity government. At the same time, you are being sympathetic to the very same general that refuse to come to Juba because they don't recognize the ongoing peace process. So this is not right.
My
So
brother,
let's be honest here. I'm
this man.
not being political, but I'm being honest. And that is
Brother,
why I should appeal to the
look at
government
this,
directly.
comrade.
That is why the government must support these peace partners. So, like Manjie said it earlier, not only just Dr. Riek Machar should be blamed for this. Salva Kiir Mayadi need to say something. Rebecca Nyandeng need to say something. Abdel Baghe need to say something. Waniga need to say something. You know, all these by president, including Taban Dengai, they have to have a say, because they should protect the peace agreement. This is exactly what we are doing. So thank you very much.
Brother, why you mention this, man? Why you mention these returnees? Talk about those who remain there from day one to this second. That's why I said, man, my brother, I love you, but man, the trust
Magog,
that
I
used to be
understand.
there is
I understand. Magog, I understand you don't like Dr. Riek Machar. But Dr. Riek Machar, you should understand, he's a first vice president. He's committed to peace agreement. But I know from the political perspective, you don't agree with it. But you cannot support someone that is against the peace agreement. General Garwidwal and Wulan are against the peace. Dr. Riek Machar is inside Juba. That means he's committed to peace. I'm challenging all of you here who is against Dr. Riek Machar. What do you expect Dr. Riek Machar to do? To join them in the bush? And who are they? Who are those military generals to order the commander-in-chief to come and avail himself to them? They should be the one to come to Juba, and then they can come and settle it. Unfortunately, that's not the way it works. So they are actually being disobedient to their commander-in-chief. So I think we should end there. Ben Wilton, kujela Ben Coach, we go Ben, kuba conclusion balwin. Kuwe we ko padang we chuka yo, kulele yin, e kenike tongo ko bo. Agwele ga jarot, ko we lo cha kalu. Let alone a chay issue bita Garwidwal ke ri mi cha ne ke je mo ke consent da ne ko ke jing pa dang ke chi we threaten acha na gwele is taking advantage ku ke lo confusion relan ki gar widwal ke yen wulo nyinde lo yen ku gar widwal e chiro kan yen nga mane gar widwal e mo ndi de chiri nam a mo ndi de chi be gam ben dore e ngane lo yen ke ran chi de na gwele kwa gwele in ke chen nam piade ti di chi wi bia part of do ke wi ki bes ke be karang below solution ne en real to ko ke luin kwa ke ga che mo ndi de a chi ri na ko mo ndi de ke ran le peace lakini man chen jo mare gar widwal ka yok ke den je ko ka ke bi nu bi lo se demu again the government in ge ku wiki bi ke den bi go lo ti ayin jeng pa dang ja ke ya stand by ke ka we ne den ge bu ban le we ba ga stand by on ku ni jiban ku yen ge lo le ye on to ka myuk ka tin ke ga bi ka mu in ge chi lo kwa kri jiban ja kum na ko chen ene ko bo ban ye ga le ke ro yo ko bo gam tin
Billy, look, please, my brother, understand it.
Magog, I don't want
The
to cut
war
you out,
has
please.
been
You have to
forced on
respect the
us.
show. Magog.
We are defending our own selves. Forces of best friend of Salva Kiir Mayardit are the one that attacked us. Yes, we did not respond according to our government's order or defense or our history of defense. They fighting each other. They chasing each other. They killed each other. Why should we be responsible on wrongdoing? My brother, it's the reason that I said you are a supporter.
All right, we lost connection. I just want to give this brother an opportunity to speak his mind. However, he keep interrupting me. But because I respect you, that's why I don't want to kick you out of the studio. That was not me. That's his own network issue. Kwa yen bantana ku ke je mo tin ka acha ke gwel won da kin ke summary ke wi ku bugyo loy ku show up tio ka chanen aya
I think
maximum 2
I
hours
think
already.
for the 2 minutes they come down again. So I'm going
I not wait.
Thank you, Bill, one more time. Yeah, but you know, could you think Magog, the King Choken way, one of me in Magog get two show, Bill a show then. Yeah, and really, Bill, look, these people are grieving, you know, yeah, and the Chiluik, a man, Yamokana, yeah, both sides, I can quite get them. So yin bin look just Magog wajaro yin mat you know do you know tongi lano
Acha
rago
de na nya den go da kin cha wi bala tin. E ke den kan ni ka la ka den loy.
yeah kayen kulwel go what we are saying they are all hajat gari dugul mun zamana da padang media gunna ya jama salam yawo number 1 lakin zol der jid michakala ne na madari yawo padang media gad kallam bi bodo da more than 2 years now look what happened now ano go to gibil concord the law leader of the community mind to have some concord to subur ma revolution mabsu gudam lo jon gara mind to concord the man who can shakal ma salfakir wala pialam da kan ma ko amle independent lana salfakir indu shabiya ugara indu shabiya lo kan hum shakalo lo kan hum mind be na concord kan pialam da is perfect fi 2020 2020 24 I think you know, in 2004. Lakini champia haisum concord, they have been a gule jamana de la afrad min the community da. Ya jama kuto haji sum concord. Lo fear haji between the communities or between the general, people should not die. Solve the problem, bara. The same kol manyang amulu ma salfakir giribada because of concord mikala da amulu solve. So Nena, we are not against Garwidwal, lakin we are against Agulak, the Padang community. We don't like Agulak at all. Lakin mind and Kadia Manuel, where there is Chakal Makuma Pata Salfa, there Yamul Chundakadiatum, Lanum Bugulgal, Not Katlumpi 2013, which is we are not a part of it. Lakin in Bugul and Red brother, El Haja be Asil, Pimanatani, Bigi Bakla Padang community. That is why majority of us we are against what is going on in Magana. Lanu Bachwe will end up in our neck, and we don't want that. So things should be solved in a good manner, not in a hunger or in like you see IO depending himself and IO there depending himself on the media. That's not good. We don't want that. So Bill, look, I will stop there, but I'm dividing brothers to come down and solve this problem issue. Yeah, real Machai to have land is a big partner. So in the right, بدون مشاكل يعمل لك رويد عنده حق يقول يا جماعه الناس دي they are rebel, they did not sign anything, so let us go with the NIDA. الإيجاد بدي معه لكن لقى جيج وين ده my question لقى جيج وين اسمه تايجر ده في مكانه لقى وين غير مشاكل. They are all my surprise. Anyway, thank you so much, Bill. Look, and guys, I will let you go.
Yeah, thank you very much, Banya Coach. But Wilson in Ben.
You know what? Man, we quite die. We talk about later. We quite die. Walk with the to studio. I been a quite tiger out there ripping and the tiger yoke. No, my Indian Taban Kichir young machalo, young machaki, Kawajula, the copycat. One chin jolly jupa. The Ben with Chick Wagaga, the Bill Farm too. But you're a mere gala, the number tiger. It told get your tiger the key. You could end the chapment there. So, Eran can we copy. I think you can copy even national security. They run a rebel and I'm national security. The word national is something to do with the state or country, not with the group. But you can jing then I say you take one. We in a tiger then mostly meet Canada. I want to get with Dollar and Chira declare. We will be Jalgo, we lucky Hala Jalgi. Jalgi Dankun, Grisban Gulegi. By in a tiger then there, it's Chuck, Loyan copycatter, the key tiger deed and talk a tiger down there. In a legacy, Loyan Matamaran, Chinam idea, a room cock always, giving a copy because of Loy. So all in all, with Jim Padang, which you Loy one thing, which you be knocked, you will knock it, Taban which he died, a tongue in Chutpin, a tongue Kate Baraton, Australia or Canada, to America, who kicked with Pani Yalwak, the kicking ball. By year, you will awake, Chirkin Yin Kinum, Chirkin Yin Quere, very chai, where we've been along the Nasser, about Yin Titin. We end Dakal Malakal, Genuine Tomedana Makaba Yin Titin. I can quite a big jar. Danya Martin, a Lillian, Runariaka, you quite cook, or you quite cock at Taban. I'm in Bitang Logger Yaga, would any word can take a taji one, cake board. Wouldn't cheat Mantawin in a tar, PG, Biaka, Kataujan Luncheon, and a cheat Wunukurkan. And when I enter along the party and can, I check it in which. By an opportunity, Kakayaga ting, Levocairo prefer good ting. And one at the news can quite a really Tonga, a Tor Twinja. Canada get an engage Twinja. So, Kaka take Nabijai Jenakan, and Alai. Kayen and Pana take where we got in a chigriak, when Jamukin Berto, Taban Magana the Kikatautin, nor rap in Magana Kinambia. So, Kajitoke population in the Ter Tongtin Martina, I bought a bigger victim. If I would have team when you're trade the Gadia. I can bear by Mantina chipping Paul, Canilla Shumal, Canilla Jubanua. Now let a band be called par sort of Shiluberia. When you're an actual Karangal Gatungo, come and enter. I will my maintain Jamoga to Lato Twinja. But wait, Daigapiat, Tagdanalaka carry out that and they will a big bell long do. Taban we got it with the name to with any mother, quite chit the ten. But we Palwan Yimping, quite cocktail wood, if you run, if you molut, if you follow it, call back a little. Baki deal quench quite big arting will be Nike Gata, the Kajaga Yoga, Jalgi. Chipping the will, Kajaga York, and Mirani can call you Malumat Loy quite a bit. By any can Namgikia, Malumat Boo Levke, Boo Lewe, can call a chicken in tongue, then get on Bukoi, Tichin and Chick. Yenakan, Ayanaki or Biraloy Gakan, back to those who does not listen the language, who were just commenting with the crisis that going on in Afrinal. We are really very sorry with this IO killing themselves. It is not good for South Sudanese. This time should not be time people have to use diplomatic. That's what we were saying. And Jiang Padang is concerned. It's the security concern too. As we know that these people, they may fight, and later when things go around, they will come around and fight people. So, and then we are telling the government to intervene to those peace spoil generals, the government and the other so-called parties. So, and all, they need to have an emergency meeting and have a statement, whether condemning what happened or to stop those crises. We don't want a state of Upper Nile to be in instability again, because this is not a good time. Enough is enough. Tamene sena adari namshi tamene sena tani. Akuma dari jibara itkalam agiga yayi wugib ma Mashar. Shan Mashar is the signatory of this peace agreement. Magar wijwa kalam batai bukunu wada. Yani felon. In Nuer Katir ma dairin Mashar lakina na bugulu, why you waiting all this time? Lahad ma barlamana mulu ujej neda another raja fitan state or parliament or ministers all this year. Why are you waiting? We telling those groups they need to go to Juba and board Mashar out democratically as an IO and bring whom they think is good, rather than create a war in Upper Nile. All in all, I will stop here with a look, and thanks for those who are watching with us. Peace has to be supported by people. We cannot be a people to support. If Wilson rebel today, everybody come follow me without asking me why am I rebel. That does not make sense. We need to be a logical people who have a logic community. I thanks both of you, Billy Luke and Matektik, and I will stop here. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ben Wilson. I hope Ben ko je ko jar ke yeno ko je ten. We chu ka le jo ka ko na ka dai in ke wa ta chaping Ben Wilson to na ku to. Kin ke bu Ben Will after min bo ka we ne bo gen mele we bang yin ko be ku ni kan mi chila lorot ka am ne ai orot a chene ke bo Ben jam tin. Ne kin ke wa ne bak taw ko we kai bang yin ti be ku ni ago we keep be mom pin kene ka yo kan ke message bu ban la we da ngi yo ko mati nu ne ka ro ke won taw ran ki da bu dogo ten woni jara la bu dog nke ran kene ne number 2 agwe le kyo kunu cha gwe le ku che tong ma de ban ke ge kam da in chip de woni Johnson ulun ulun ke ye ne ka jotong ka yo ke ten la ba ga kon ten ran de nu taw we gi kene ke good ga le ku we kene kene yana talk within malakal ko jila be ko kitin man taw ten yirang wala yi malut main town te taw fadang ti ku jan gere lo ya ne ke lo ro within ne ke lo ku mo wala ke lo ke fadang ko we ke get spy so e ko bin sian ne gere lo ku communication at all so ran kin number 2 da gwe le woni ne jero la budok ene taw ke ne governor dun position de ke ko bi check adik we ke ne ke support back ti ran kiri ke me cha dari no abudok ran cha committee nga wan chen go dom ket jupa wan cha ben jam ko dangi jinu e man chi ran de ne chi go declare ko chigat from Dr. Riek Macha kaya ngi jinu maybe Dr. Riek Macha da turu gun le benege cha go nge ka cha be wuju ku taw ran ne tionde so ka ke siebi a che ti ko la ka bi ban ka ke yin ran de ka dali nge red jok lo yin pa dang ne de ka dali ku ka yin ne target a che ada go bi la ke to fi apa na ke le bi le ye ne nge ga taw nge ga chi taw ke bi wan nga gwele une bi ren nga gwele ke ken ke time ki bag Dr. Riek Macha bak ti abu do ke ran ke ran be lu ge yi ne chi lu ge yen ko gurum ne jar bi taw di ki bi taw ke ran ko ji spy in ko gwele ga la tong ba e ken ke ye ko le we our opinion da ko ko ta bi ke ye ko nyanu ke we padang to on the ground ne support ya wo jam Riek Macha ku bi abu do bi wo nye kana den taw ti kubira anu nen ki trust ko be do be loy na pasu en bi bay biya governor inke we woni sie do en loy tinga lakin a media dan ko yuzo chan be we ga tang ni ma idea akane ke wadu ene kane in ban tormo bun ki yemen bay kun ni trend te lui kai kun ayi yin num so da to lui threat to ke security du en ko we ko chan baga we brana re ka tayi ke ka loro ke ka agwe lek ade we within malaka ten let alone che yi ka tabi kwa ka den chi re ka ba ala bi podi within ten
ayen ben bil
ko we
jal te bi hang ben ja bi jal alwa li
o
jal
adi ka fa yo ku to ya kwa ka ne nge ke duel ka ayen mi jal conclusion ba lo ke e mi bale jam nan jam an rit mi cha in defend
I know jalo lo
ko ni nge de di
jalo
ke ya ne lo le ye in ban wilton we ko ko ni jing dai a che nyo bi nu ye na ne ran te cha member ta ayo de ne ye lakini ni ne do ku chen ta an cha ma no go yi ni to no ku chu do ta ku de gun tin ka we ko chi ke cho ko ma do to to tin ko lo do yi kurane lo kor bi e yog bi yin pol a che kre reg mi cha to ke ye ne ki da na wiki be pi de ne bi yo ko ban ku jo dok chen en ge ke luel yi ulon ke gran
what do I get there jama go in a lamba we go la pok tin kan
ai ko chi ke de jan we yi en
what do I get there ngi ke ke ni tin ma wo ka ji document ci ka tan karane yana owner of this document era ne ci kwa chor yeg ma cha
ni ran chi kwan
el Nigeria ndal di log mer de man tin ulela yen le ko ji yin mana ke salam in chagri yo
e salama na chu yo ga man ke ye ku luel man in ka de le ku ta ju sudan support ya ko de ge
yen da yen ga ke yi gar wujwal ke kan ga ke men de won I am chili ba agree okay I know they have their own hatred chiga Greek man because of the way
yes I understand that when it goes brother
yes
but then no jola che legitimate he en error contradict ga na le yi
I can
so ke na ro ku mo ku be chok to bi ku lo ye jam
mo
garu ye jam le bi tong ni lo ya bi
mo di da wule ne mo di ke ne wule ne
which is the best anyway ya chin kre jo go we lakini ngi jo la kan ra an pe dong mi chila yen ken ke mi chila da man a che nga ga de conflict of interest ne in ban wilton ne kla na obvious but I can't below in detail ya
no I chin
you see conflict of interest de ko ne chi ko de e man ke gola no mula yo wi to ku tong ya wi di man to ngo jo lo preach media fa dang ni cho ga ne be lo man ngan chu lo attack man all this time jo go jam go
ko bi wo frame saket lakini ga yo le ko awareness ma wo ki ken ku jam 2 weeks ago inu kabara lo gi kan we predicted 2 weeks ago I think you need to be ko wan bu lo ten
e kla na obvious
so
but we don't even e cho le e na ja ko lo celebrate chin ko lo celebrate ne we mi chila de kan but then iber yek mi cha ba go because yen ke kam da in shit ku kala en ge je ku che to tek ngo yidi ti man yini ne la skre kwa ngi ngo yero lo do you think bra na bi je ni fola din ge je do re ya ma ma ne le en ga wi ko le yin nom dang ku jele ke trap ne ken
one
te ga yen ato tin tan kan ci jele ya yinde ga
jel William Yuan yani ci taw longi ka tora lakini ñu taw wan jel William Yuan 94 William ci ban ben ci fol ga jël ci ben biotchu wan cen tamarat loy e ga nu na wa wa yene ken a ci la jinu bi nata lo ma geej daal ci taw bay president ci ma taw wen ku je salfa luy kalabu mana za di ci long donko ngor ko benam dek mushkila ke salfa lakini aji alu la ran ci mere de ko le bi ko la ko je ci mana yi dola bana bi ran bana bi atamara we celebrating that cannot bring peace you know
so ake lo kere again is ke je ne tegi ke tegi je lakini ayo ko ci lu escalate na le lu escalate ke de ni kana so being again le ci hunde pale way you know it had nothing to do with the but ko wono go la government le bi lu intervene ke ranu ne peace partner e ngane threat to peace mane e ya rane ja ci ba jubo wala rane ja go le no an ci la bi ti twi man ke no go le en ta ci ran ci yek mi cha an ne je political kan ngana we kam an we yo ne kin ge do na lu support aka lo balo di ya jamana kan de di especially ke e jing an gat pin ne ke ke ting nu chin de ko an ne ko bi ci gri ni an we ba da ya ko ga ke ni a ko ba ko lo fe ban ke yi gar wi dwal wa ne ke yi ulon wala ngade na ga le yene ran jale ko ke ko wa ne o de so lo ku chiru ke we no adon ge lo le don ge no ge ri mi cha ni to ri mi cha ni ge lo le ci ko no wan ke ye lo ko ge lo na ko
na bug japol ga yana bi jalan bi exit wa je doctor
ayi ye na ni le jare wa ye no ci ko le jo ko dai en ke jam kene to ak jam si yedi ak dedi lakin create ban their conflict of interest. Yeah, and encourage the peace and stability is something we ought to support. We all have the obligation to make sure this peace agreement is actually implemented to the letter and to the spirit. And that is why we have to support Dr. Riek Machar, because he's actually committed to the revitalized peace agreement implementation. And that is why the National Unity Government, which is now being formed, should actually come and support him, because he's a partner to peace. Those who are defecting from Dr. Riek Machar are against peace. That is my message. My position is very clear. If you are actually for Gerald Garwidwal and Gerald Johnson Wuloy, then you are against peace. And we all know what is going on around the country. Gerald Johnson Wuloy and Gerald Garwidwal are not alone. They are actually coordinating and facilitating this rebellion or new revolutionary uprising with other civil organizations inside the country and other rebel groups across the country, including those of Gerald Thomas Cirillo. So there is this coordination going on, according to the intelligence. We are aware of this. So don't contradict yourself. If you know yourself, you are a government supporter, you are a supporter of this opposition group that are already signatory to the peace agreement, you should be supportive of the group of Dr. Riek Machar, because they are committed to peace. Not only Dr. Riek Machar, even other political parties, if any of their members defected and declared the same problem as in the case of Gerald Garwidwal, I think we should also condemn them, because they are against the peace agreement. So I believe Dr. Riek Machar, I'm a government supporter. And the reason why I support Passed by President Group is because he's committed to peace agreement. And that's what we ought to support. If you don't support Dr. Riek Machar Group, it means you are against the peace agreement, and that means you want to take the country back to war. Who is for a war here now? Somebody supporting Dr. Riek Machar because he's actually committed to peace agreement, or someone that wants to support those military generals that defected from Dr. Riek Machar? That has to be said, Yajaman. We want to use the media platform as well to challenge the government of South Sudan, generally the National Unity Government. They have to establish a diplomatic channel, military channel, diplomatic channel, whereby they have to challenge the hosting country like Sudan that is harboring some of these military generals that wage the war against the very peace agreement they have signed, they have witnessed, and they are granted to this peace agreement. That's why I said earlier, South Sudan government, through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, they have to launch a diplomatic channel with the Sudan Foreign Affairs so that they can actually lodge this complaint there. Sudan need to stop hosting any military general that go against the revitalized peace agreement. This is how peace is implemented. I believe so far our government is not doing the right thing by coming out and say, you know what? You as the Sudan government, Ethiopian government, Kenyan government, Ugandan government, all of you are granted to the revitalized peace agreement. There is no need whatsoever. You have to host any or hover any of these military generals that go against the revitalized peace agreement. Or if they cause any interaction or any uprising in the country, in calling for the toppling of the unity of the National Unity Government, it is you as a grantor that will be held accountable for supporting them. So let's be serious here. Let's be realistic in the way we talk about implementing peace. That is why we have to be protective of any peace partner. Yes, I think the demand of this military general, General Garwidwal, if he would have come to Juba and then they call for a reform of their own party, I think they should have done it inside Juba. That's when they should have actually toppled Dr. Riek Machar. It would have been recognized by the National Unity Government because it will be considered as an internal affairs of the SPLMIO. Since Dr. Riek Machar is actually a pro-democracy, he should have allowed that to happen inside Juba. But the fact that General Garwal and Johnson Wulong refused to come to Juba, it threatened war. It threatened the entire national security because they are actually coordinating with other rebel groups across the country. And we are aware of this. It's because we don't want to give you detail here. There are some information that are classified that we don't share on media. And this is why we are concerned. We have to be, realistic in the way we present ourselves in the media. I know some individual among you here as the viewers are driven by conflict of interest. They want to see this government being toppled. That means if you call like those people calling for the popular uprising, you cannot call for a popular uprising against the very government that is recognized by the international community and regional observers who are actually granted this peace agreement. It doesn't make any sense. So it's like creating a double standard of a circumstances or a situation whereby you implicate the lives of the innocent people. And at the end of the day, when the government responds, I can see the weakness of the government too, because they're not actually working with a unified voice against any other renegade groups out there. They should actually consolidate themselves instead of working against each other. And that is what seemed to appear with the position of the mainstream political party, SPLM. Support anyone that is committed to peace agreement. That's what it means to support your peace party. In this case, Dr. Riek Machar. In this case, Rebecca Nyandeng of the FDs. In this case, Abdel Baghi from the other opposition party. In this case, like Taban Denga. In this case, like, any other vice president out there. And other opposition parties that are represented in the ministerial and parliamentary portfolio. All of these are partners with the national unity government. So the national unity government is actually being formed already. So the revitalized peace agreement is on the process of smooth implementation. I don't see the reason why people continue to complain about, the issue of the security arrangement is not an issue. Even the fact that Garwid will continue to make accusations about the security arrangement is nonsense. I don't recognize that. Because his argument from the very beginning, refusing to come to Juba, was all about the fact that Dr. Riek Machar actually reduced his own IO organization into a family enterprise. And that is something we all condemn him about. This is what led to this current situation in which his faction have now split into two as a result of turning IO into a family enterprise. And turning it into a family enterprise resulted in the employment of only family members and disregard the other loyal and qualified, competent members of his own political and military wing. So I believe that is the only legitimate reason why the deputy chief of staff, James Kong Chua, defected and joined the government because he did not get the position he expected. Garwidwal is not happy because he was expecting to be appointed as the Minister of Defense. Unfortunately, he didn't get it. Now he's making a political accusation and try to be smart that it is the issue of security arrangement. That's not an issue. You should understand the main cause of this crisis within the SPLMIO faction is not about security arrangement. It's not about lack of progress in the implementation of the peace agreement. It is about the internal conflict over the distribution of the position. That's what it's all about. And that is something we all, blame Dr. Riek Machar. And if Dr. Riek Machar was smart enough, he should have actually employed the competent and qualified members of his party and military rank and file. This is what have caused him this problem. So this accuses that it is about security arrangement, that it is about lack of implementation of the peace agreement. It's not an issue. Security arrangement is in place. That is why the leadership of the SPLMIO who joined the government so far are now set and secure inside you. One of the SPLMIO member is now the deputy of the National Legislative Assembly of South Sudan. So what are you complaining about? About the revitalized peace agreement not being implemented? And yet, the government is still on the process of implementing the other protocol. But it was the IO themselves that were actually undermining the smooth progress of the implementation in the beginning. And that is something that is attributable to General Garwidwell himself. Because when they refused to join the commander-in-chief in Juba, it's what complicates the integration of their forces. Because they were actually undermining it strategically for a reason known to them, because they have been denied the main portfolio that were supposed to be given to them. So conflict with General Garwidwell, Dr. Riek Machar, is something personal. It has nothing to do with the practical implementation of the revitalized peace agreement. It has nothing to do with a political agenda. It has something to do with the personal interest, conflict of interest. This is what is driving them. So I was actually trying to give you a little bit of lecture about the motive driving this military general. I know it from the very beginning. But people are actually stuck to this idea that it is about security arrangement. That's not an issue. Anyway, this is politics. And in politics, sometimes people who don't understand the political art can just stick to one thing that is being said by the other. But if I were to go one-on-one on people like Garwidwell or Olony, I know where they stand. I know what is actually driving them. And that's what I just told you. The conflict within the SPLMIO is not about the lack of implementation of the revitalized peace agreement. It is about the disagreement about the distribution of the ministerial force, parliamentary force, gubernatorial force, and most of these prominent military officers, prominent politicians, were left out. And Dr. Riek Machar replaced them with his immediate family members. This is what caused this chaos. So don't be fooled. Don't be fooled, ladies and gentlemen, that these individuals are actually defecting because of lack of implementation of the revitalized peace agreement. The peace is on the progress. And that's why we are very supportive of the peace agreement and its implementation. That is why the commander-in-chief, Dr. Riek Machar, as the vice president, is committed, because he believes as the commander-in-chief on behalf of the SPLMIO that the peace is going on smoothly. But his own general were the one undermining him. So for the rest of us, we have no issue to do with the SPLMIO. But I was just trying to give you the benefit of doubt, because most of the people are being misled. That's not what I believe in. There is too much misinformation out there, and that's what politics is about anyway. But unless you understand critically what is behind the motive, what is driving those forces, this is what I just told you. It is all about the position. Why I wasn't appointed to become a minister of defense? Why I wasn't appointed to become this position? That's why Dwere defected. That's why James Concord Ali defected. That's why General Garwidwell didn't want to join. As for General General Johnson, he was expected to be appointed as a governor. But because of the voices of Ying Fadang, it was very critical for him to be appointed. Otherwise, it would have been a war automatically, because this man was actually coming to implement his agenda. And that's not the spirit of the peace agreement. So now I think you understand. Security arrangement is actually being used as a scapegoat, and that is political tactic. That's not what is driving them. All of them have a respective conflict of interest. That's why the other group already joined the government of South Sudan, because they have no option. Instead of serving under Dr. Riek Machar, they have to furnish it. Do you think I believe in them too? No. They still pursue their agenda. They still have that hidden agenda, even though they are now part of Salva Kiir Mayari. I don't trust them. This is exactly what Chief Brown is doing on the social media. And people, most of you who support the government, you think this man is for peace, but he's not. They only don't like Dr. Riek Machar just because of the distribution of the position. Didn't favor them. So ya jamana, don't correct say ke glory bu mi to pat. I can see the day jadi. And goes round. I live at the anko. I live in le wedding, but then I chain a go. Ku ta ga live at the anko wedding. Ku kana ngi ni jandi. So yi na ko ba dum bi ade and go. And chat ke yi. So Riek Machar is responsible. Ke de ni chelo. Wan chen position chen ke ban take ku yin ke ko chen te ran yin. No position den wan chelo ben position men ga men ke right ko chen ke pyot. Otherwise, I will get okay united, okay chat to, but the way one change position taking, go around and go card reco. I knew the nuke arcal and low interest in get on town. Can it away from the very beginning of his agreement? Can it? It's all about position. It has nothing to do with the no yeah and a lot. Here, Kijala Lloyd Junub Sudan. No. And you want to go in Chogo Io, then can get go Chogunuke, it can't know really in a coach, can knock you. Kwa gwele ke gol kare chognu ke lele yene pinje chi jienga chepe jaga manen gele lo kabara ko le ake national agenda. It's not not the issue behind it. It's very clear ngo ke we ye klan ni maru. It doesn't need a rocket scientist to explain this, especially yin ye jienga. So ko to what ko chi na ka de, it's not all that glitter is gold. Kiti getting riaw that not mean no yin eke dark. So don't go say a fool. E kan ngere ngi chat gara. Ki chat e ko ke. Nka ke we lo ko chon go we yin ka panal a ke nyin ko jadi. Chana we ka wil ke ga ya, we ka wil ke ga ya, we ka wil ke ga ya mane we ka bo we choba panal. Kwa panal le bi jo fal ke. A ke wel ni ri kwa ke calculation du na ke lo yedi. Amol isakum kwais. Oh, en ke ka we leka. A ke ya stand by lakini ngeke le lo ignore ku cha bi ki chen nam tang ya le ka chin gi dien men yo. Abe yo ba pingi. Nta ke ben le mi ko chiriken le mi ka yo be dia wala na ke tawle ko tawla yenan me ko ke le we le yenan bi lu kan jam red lakini chanen ping ting de tan te ko taw yenen nam le pi ko don ko de woni ko rodi ba we aka wel de na yen le yenan da ko rik ma cha ake ran kai ke do man tin it mean that yes in ke ran cha committee da ko do beloy but that does not mean nu yenan ran rik ma cha agenda den chatin tin aba luel within ten as long bien loy tong di o kiryoj iran ko bien loy political tactic wala loy di akin gele bo wati ko won biya luel tong do na wi lakini kay ko ron mi ko le ran len ba kwa nyang we lu mu chogo le be loy mana ko le man ku jogen wala ko le ku ariye so ka chirika ke chi wi ke ga entertain ko ne ki kir mi yari chen ko wi nyin pa ni bin Sudan amana we mo of the jang ju dai ne ran ro contradict emane ke ran le e ke riek mi cha na men ku riek mi cha re ju ba alu le loy do nge be la ka be man ko loy do we are not asking you ku le yen loy bot for it ku le do an ye ran ti riek mi cha ka ke do ko ka yo gurum de man na tan gurum ta ya gen do nge ka be man ti ka ko nu bag la maran ko bo we joto so aka wel de we cha kale an nya de jeng nan je pioria ka hukumo ku tonga che la ka ludu tongi ara ne jangu le yen ki mi yari de ra ke hukumo den tan yala ka chopo pe kede amane jo tongi da ra ne ta won alu le mo ko ti ku ka de ra ne ngalo ka jam ti alu le no la da ma bangi ne bo won aja ku wi wa ne bi man ngi ti man wa junubi una be hukumo be le yen lo mi la gen view ki be dia ba den ko lo ngo ko de to aka lo ngo lo man be das ku kale ku we lo le yen palki ba ni jinu Sudan kene en ke manam ke opposition ku Quran to ku mai wa ning la twen da go ki lo election ko ban du na ba la kwan ba de en nga cha ga ye fursa le well kenen ke le ko we ba we ja ko mo du lo di amuli sapum kois in brother para I did fuel inji gari te won lakin comment ko cha ke de brother like I said pikina ne de tong English kaya lo tong ni jien ku le ye na riek me cha tan tawo ne jubo aye nyuo nu ke ran ko do lo ke yin manin ja ting manin ne ro tan gurum te en ma riek me cha o gurum ma riek me cha ke na tawo ci kon ben jubo min tan te ne do je mo fin ci kon ben jubo no okay ngi ci ka ben jubo ngo lo ga se du che tong en ran ki ben jubo e lo ga se du nu ke tong tu aka lo beriek bi ngolo beriek bi dug bin much kwa chu lo won we give you a benefit of doubt ka juni are sympathetic ka won te again riek me cha ko ja again riek me cha lidi ka ke ye members ke ko bi junu Sudan bi duang nam tong a chan ke do kana berio ko bu ko jo be du do jididi e yene ko wiki yene kana much kene ke option dun we junu bi e yene ko wiki yin da man yin bol man tol anya yo ko wona jam chan bi kirim yari bi ko pen to lekin brother alu ele ya ka dun aga kwen bi jitui we get double faces here a chan anya wa aga sympathetic turan te en jai ki bo re do ben loy ke chan nya ka bu kumo bi ko pe go ko we ko un ji fyo me du kumo ko we bi a take advantage I wish you good luck. Don't bag low. Di ko wege. E ko dun ye en serial to we. But analysis I'm trying to be fair. Chan alo le yene ke do ko lo support. E ba tong di lo preach. Ning de tong e jing fa dang ne di lo preach ti ne che ne be tin ke tong ke be jo de tong yi di. Tong ga ko lo preach min lazi la da de ke lo le yene ga de tong lo preach e me di e ke ni. Kiro lo no. E tong on chi jing fa dang kon jo. Cha jo kon fin. Cha kon ting de ki de jing fa dang ki lu kon lo attack wala cha kon ting de ke de jing fa dang ki nu kon lo attack wala de jing fa dang cha kon ting ke de la lu attack ki yo ku mo wala yira we do na ka le ko wel ko ga man te gi jene nan bi lu den tie da don cha do tin cha na kan nya bu ku mo bu wet pe nin direct ke de loy ki de chi de ben we kwet loy ki biti lakin do na ro ko wen ba ko ban a go in direct ye na ne jam ke ka ki te ka taw under threat jon to lon ge kwan dang man mu ben dang man taw ge jende aka lo le jennu ku mo u lon nya chin mi chi la ka u ku mo a chin mi chi la ka yi ni jeng bi tin won nye che ke ba ti it doesn't affect you, it doesn't fail you u ka cha ke lo feel ka ku lo feel kana so we ko ba ga wo ja don ko yi to wel ku la le nge ka lu tong preach e ya ne tal ka chi far ma gen de ya lu en preach e ke be ko padang men cholo mo je ke kwa bi wok ben pe kwa nak ko e ya ne lu preach u ya ka lu na jiem ku ke lu e ya wo ki tong lu preach ye na ara na to na tiop ne na ya lu bi na ga ka nak ku lu la cha jam ni nge yin ma no ko ku nge lu ye na ko je ra ni jiem ma ko cho ka ni a cha na de jiem ko bro da pretend ne o ko ke peace de cha ni yin na chin ge yin effect yin ra ngu chin ge yin lu effect kin chi pyo tu cha le we ku le ye na ni chen o jeren ki for very long time kwan chi ra ne ko ngi ki ke kun ta kan we yi ki an we ti ma ne twa a one time mo in chan jirani jo kon lo attack ja lo michila ba wing the pay wala ba pin the nom wala ba ngolo ni ka ga nan jenga fada e kan ngona ngo ka fada ngene kula la yin ko ta kena da de tru ke ne ke lo ban ko ban effect krena ndi wana ire lo e wo lo effect ko che ko lo en ke lo irin ga jinga ban wani chen wala e ke ba ni garan biu na wi ne wo e wo lo en o jinga fada wa ne go irin garan biu ni wana be lo December 2013 ki yerin ga kiri mi yari ken na go akijin joga ni jinga so we gona wo ben no leg nonsense forum keni and if you me then and look I talk straight na ran we ko jam ke yen will ke ba ka leka so ko brand you what be a jam fees ke de ko te engi jinu e ngane ko e ngane tong bai ka ko na we leka 91 wa ne ge yen 91 ga jing ko da e yen ko nda wala rin ga ran bi yo ne ge yen wa na be no one December 2013 2014 e yen ko nda ga jing ko da ani nga ke jang le yen ke fada ngene tong ko ki ye ngande ibe den ne ngala bi incident lo report ne ko le fada ngai kan lo la ay ko ke chulu ka gala ba ka ye credit because ye ne chin ko won chi go lo ke marub je ke go joro ke tribal wo buki lakini wulo ne che lo e man wan chen ko no fi malkal la ko no fi piji ay ko no fi malut man wa rejen ga babura ine do ak lo le ne kan e fada ngai lo en wala ye ne wulo ne gar wi wala cha be lo le nge lo en ke lui wo de ta na ndu wan lui ke ga security kene na we ko we jinga panal nge ki we jinga go lang fi ni be ben wani December 2013 to 2014 ngani be lo ga tatini yen ga widwa kege ko je orders ran ki riek mi cha ga security ga ka lo ga ko do e mane lo la yen ki mi yari de en go ne no e ko le ne ko no e ki mi yari de lu yen security wala we jeng to ko wala we jam je jeng junu Sudan wane ge lo le ci garan obiyo ci ganno e garan obiyo ne lo yen as a person wala ko to ko ya jama'a na aka loji ga ka loji ye nan ce ko ai fada ce ko lakini na ran wuje na chak be ku jana ta ti ke to ngadi ya ninga de taw tin on the ground jam ne bi lu krana ki de cha dra ndi ka to ka da ye ne la en le cha to on my dead body kalam fare che lo cha jaw lo ne media ke ba we ne lo chan ko ro din form de ke la lo bi ran bi ni yin jeng e jam le be jeng na nga nyon ni le ke yin nge na ko to je betrayal ne ke barang ye conflict of interest don lo flow ye nan pindi ka ye fadang ne ye nyuk tok tin kunu la teoria ko dan fadang le ka wona pin gidu Sudan ka bari yo ko wada oya ko we chiba ma that's when you will feel it lakini aga roti e manere bolo ka god bi di ngor ke tungan mu ko jeng fada nin gar ku mana bu to ke gare bolo ka chene tare ka yi jannu ku mo da ri dere ten pin fada el be ne kana wala u ka ngi be percentage cha o mana ku lu yo compare jeng ga golan ku ye jeng to fi jongle e kala bi yog dar ma joti ko we ko to ku me ko me ka ku mo e ka jot fi re ko o kala bi yog 99% jeng fada o ke ko di ra da mi an man wan cho ko di ga mo biyo ku ngor ku ko ka ki mi yari e kana ga cho lo rebel to ten ke ke weekend e kul mino fada cha no o ke wuje kala fa ri ki e to ngona ga le o ga yo ku fit e to ngona ga le o we don ga non sa ne lo entertain e pin nguru kwar kwa chieng di de yi war kwa. None of you don't even know as ben daman to war kwa ko ne kwar kwa e tong no tong go ye thor ke jiren ko na ngi ko go yinga afala ka bielo la ke waren jiengan tu yene kwa ben lo la ko ne kwa ben da wona ji e hukumo bi ta junu Sudan ga to tin ga menta lakin civil population ro defend ro ka ga tin man de mi ki jien ko da ga tin ga ye ta ka na di ki wa bi ga man yelo ago ata de ka kana le ga ne we jeng ko wo ga jero da lo ka mi ngi cho ga ne ba lo jien fa da ke luel duan ko ga lewel ke mana ga media dan kana ga pay yes okay ko ne is straightforward. I speak for boy the ko that's what I'm here for. Do you like it? Check it you can. Yeah na chin ka ga iran ni ku ye nan ti ban tur ku le yen ba la ba la lo ga nationalist yan ba ko ki jo betray bu ko la pretend ke ye hypocrite. I'm not a hypocrite. Banale ben ka national level to go gi bi lu ko ki den you see. Because I have my strategy. When it comes to national politics, I know how to play it. Now I can still be there. So try to begin at home. That is exactly what I'm doing. I don't care. You call me tribalist. You call me and you war free. You were tongue on your condo. Indian and check area. Yam the running a leave. No and be look on the ground, and it can be shocked and oh, because the enemy strategies, and I know what I can do. It can be done politically or below militarily, and below. Because being a strategist is being a tactician. So don't call you for book. Patient, could tolerant, and talk humility of lower way, and they quite wrote dog. Lakini de ka kan nini, what the check. Okay, what don't I wrote part. You want to call you for book first. Don't get you all the band and get a jing and call Bukuma then be weak. Okay, Ukuma dan chem ka kenda. We ka ko beri ni me ake pada ne ko janda mai. Ke da ne go to ke yi dabes. A che Ukuma ta jinu Sudan ne ko da fa. Period. Ayu Ukuma ta jinu Sudan ne ko ti wi ko yo jing pada ngal bu lo mi sigin. Kul ne ga krare yede lo ko lo wala bu lo. Ki yere lo ne ke ya ke den mutual benefit. We got benefit from each other. Achi and we didn't kin cha we ya too. Period. Game na chiran kuje. Lakini cha yinwa isani ku komin ko does not mean no ye nan chero lo ga lo indu. A kan ke so. Ni chero ko of nyinam does not mean no na lo indu. Ato no bayinda ye pursa let me daman ye be ben. E kan ya ben be lo ki chidike. Kuna lo ye ne again ye. Kula eno la ka wala min le mi ka chidin ya. You'll cry fool ku bebe jam la ngek ngoy nen fal ka we. Ta ka wan choko ga ngobiyo. Inga ke jo gran ki de mi yari. E cho de ki ne pelo ko we go fal ka we. Ko the end get mutual benefit in a week. Then ngani lo support ku chi lo support. Bola nge ine wana mnyager ke jing ke ko bu ku mo lo remu. Akaduo ne we lo e chakudun tiam keduon wi ba ku mo wi don ga ben ta o ye che o fada o pen we keduon lo yi kwan ni kwe dun twi ke ku mo nu ti choba la juba de ku la chop achira andu ga yin ti chid be le wen bes ke ye ku ben go de ne me de re ke rane no le ye ne o rane no le ye ne bi wen bi pe rane no le bi pin rum ba jo la no ngi ga ya kwe me de ye jitene ka ye fada engen we dom ti le ken na ga le ye na fada lu wo fi. Okay, right nga ka chup jo violate te. Aman je in jang le respect the right of others. A right others ngon to violate. janin ti kuna cha lin man e linge en po te ja ne ben live ben luil yin chi ba an man ko woni jam bu ni ko yen bi jam live video ken ta ko woni ling chi none of you don't want to show up. So we gonna call you ben call me GM Jirika. Yeah, and I'm sick and tired of this. And I'm running out of faith. Be ko ka nguru ka kien ti di wan ko kuiro ko e gien ti Junu Sudan. Ai ben wan town ti Junu Sudan, town ti Sudan as abadan. E ya ngi kan e gien tong tok. Chin gien nang ko ya pi. E wan jan ben ar ka chabi e jan ngi no de gien nang cho lele, ko de gien cho lele. Yi pa da ngro da kuiro wan. Buro jo ben ni shwer ka chabi. Chứ mà nó sẽ điện jalan tin wa ngi ke de gien cho ngong na bie wala ngong la ya wala abeliang wala ay dongjol wala ñel wala ge wala paw wala ngo e cha ngi ke ke le lo na che jing bo man jam tin wala jing to bar ka da aya ngi wa nan ke jing a che le do le la kina gi go an ngi wa nan ke wala jing to fi Sudan kira nan ko ya ti ko dan cheng pa andi pride an cheng pa andi e le ku cheng pa andi riel ke chin jing nan ko ya pi o go je randi ga ke ku ti ke ge ren ko man che war ne ko la gang ge tong ko ku wa ne jok cheng dam no wa na ko ku ja war ko e ke yo joli ye de ke de ran ben la we ko man ta ri gi ku le ye ne jinge e kara je le ku ke lo an che ko ka ran nga ya fada an che kwa ka ran de an che rum fin ran de kwan che na ran nga fat nin na gi ngel ba yin no gi ne borol fil ke tong nu o yo ku nyinu la chong nu bu ko bu ke gop ku jogu tong ya ku nyu chan tong na ka le nyu ya ko le de agora an bu ka tin bu ka ni ci kar kala din ja pol jaar yo ya din ga lu tong na ka angi ci ke gan war ko angi ci ke kilu ni ci o ga yinga o ce ka ye tong lo twai twai kuna chu tong na gam ga je ben fe ke ya ben fe ke ngi ra no nga ram gi so message kana le we ko je o kid le fa da nge tong we fi I'm sick and tired of you guys pal ke jam ni ku ke fa da ngod ki ye dial ngi jo ngi ke da lo ku yin ina ngi ke ja dalin ko je randu ye no cha kale and ko je ten shukran